Right, I'm going to hit go live. We are hopefully live. Hang on.
Ooh, big suspense,
We're
big
live.
suspense. I think we're live.
Hello.
Amazing. Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching from. It is morning for us, myself and Tommy. It's just gone 8:15 in the morning. And we're here to talk through some Barcelona testing. It's the final day. And it's been emotional, Tommy. We've got a lot of big stories to talk about as well.
8 hours to go. 8 hours of streaming to go. You've got the 8-hour shift today. How are you feeling about that?
I do. I'm ready. Been stretching before we went live, making plenty of notes. Luckily, there is a lot to talk about. But 8 hours worth might be a push. But Matt's done such a stellar job the last 2 days, so got big.
He needs a rest. Yeah, he'll have done 20 hours when he finishes, which is quite a lot. As you can see on screen, we have the plain white Haas livery. As you'll know, you've probably seen on our website and our socials that their title sponsor Uralkali, I'm not 100% sure how you say it. They obviously, with the current political situation in Russia, they have ties to Putin. It's run by Dmitry Mazzapin? Dimitri, that's what, yeah, Dmitry Mazzapin, sorry. Who obviously Nikita's father, who's very close with Putin. They obviously had their Russian livery, and with everything going on in the world, not just how inappropriate it is to run it, but also because of the sponsors and how there have been, sanctions on Russian businesses and things. And I know that Mazzapin was with Putin recently as well. Another situation for Haas with a problematic sponsor, and the team. Yeah, the team is that were peeling the stickers off last night. But yeah, awful situation going on in the world. We said it yesterday. But yeah, thoughts with everyone affected by that. And yeah, from the F1 side, no Russian branded Haas.
No, like Tommy said, all the stickers have been peeled off the garages, off of the motorhomes that they have there. I believe there's still the sponsorship on Nikita's race suit, but I mean, that is quite last minute to get a whole new race suit made up. So
I don't think it's just him, to be fair. There. You can see all the mechanics have got it on. I don't think. I imagine that's more the fact that they couldn't sit there picking it off their overalls and sewing patches onto things. But I guess the main car, if you like, is plain. I'll get another picture up of it.
Yeah, lots of people in the chat saying that the livery looks better anyway, which I might be inclined to agree with you. But that's the big story that broke overnight. Obviously, if there are any updates, if Haas released any more statements, I mean, the statements Haas have been releasing at the moment don't include any kind of Uralkali sponsorship or logos or anything like that at all, which it did before. So it's coming off everything that it can, but we'll see if Haas or maybe Gunter Steiner or somebody like that will have a conversation with the media today and let everybody know what's going on. Yeah, well,
I'd be surprised. They're going to get absolutely bombarded today with questions all the time from the media. Maybe this is too early for a take, but I'm calling it now. Fittipaldi is going to be in that car for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Perfect.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon?
What was the question? Sorry, my internet dipped out.
Mazzapin won't be driving in Bahrain.
Is that what you think?
Yeah. If their sponsorship goes.
Yeah, that's true. Get Fittipaldi in.
That's what I mean. That's what I said. I reckon Fittipaldi's in the car in Bahrain.
Ooh.
What does everyone in the chat think? But there's another picture. Yeah, another picture of the car. We'll get some more pictures on track. As you can see, there is actually people on track, and
we've got all 10 cars have been out, including
you can tell
the
Matt's
Haas.
not here because we'd just be talking about Leclerc fastest, but it's only 5 laps in. But the Ferrari hype train is back on and back in early.
Yeah, very much so. So yeah, all 10 cars have been out this morning. And lots of the cars are going out with aero rakes again. I'm sure you've probably seen plenty of pictures of cars and these huge rakes on the back of them, basically trying to collect as much data as possible. So that's the situation this morning. Looks like Fernando Alonso has already had a little trip to the gravel, which might be slightly concerning. Alpine are a team where there are still quite a lot of question marks over them because it appears that they're having some issues with their DRS. They're setting laps and they're not opening the DRS compared to other teams. Whether that could be that there's a proper issue with it, maybe sticking open, or that they just haven't quite configured it correctly at the moment. It remains to be seen. But of course, another issue they might have is with this power unit that they've got, because they are the only Renault powered team on the grid. They can't have a look at data from another team. Obviously, the relationship with Red Bull ended when they switched to Honda. So it's just themselves out on the track that they have to rely on. So they've kind of got themselves a bit up. What's the phrase? Up the creek without a paddle? Is that a thing?
I don't use phrases like that. So
I know
you love using them and getting them mixed up.
I do, but
I don't know. I've never heard that one. There's another picture of the Haas.
Have you not? Oh my gosh. Maybe I have made it up.
Maybe you've just got a book of made up phrases.
Yeah. Oh dear. I hope not.
So for people that want to know the who's in the cars today, obviously you can see who's actually out on track now, but in terms of who's actually running, let me get the lineup. So Mercedes have Russell in the morning, Hamilton in the afternoon. Red Bull have Verstappen in the morning, Perez in the afternoon. Ferrari Leclerc morning, Sainz afternoon. McLaren Norris morning, Ricciardo afternoon. Alpine Alonso morning, Ocon afternoon. AlphaTauri Gasly morning, Tsunoda afternoon. Aston Martin Vettel morning, Stroll afternoon. Williams Latifi morning, Albon afternoon. Alfa Romeo Guan Yu Zhou in the morning, Bottas in the afternoon, and Haas is Mazzapin in the morning, as you can see from the picture, and Schumacher in the afternoon. And then we're done till Bahrain.
Yeah, it's been an interesting testing / shakedown / whatever F1 want to refer to it now. I think they finally kind of admitted that this is a testing event. We all knew it before, but one thing that's really, well, not surprised me, but they aren't televising it anywhere, hence why we are doing these updates, this watch along. There is no video coverage of it live anywhere. There's no live timings. We're working in collaboration with our sister company, The Race, who are on the ground in Barcelona doing a stellar job and are the ones giving us the updated times, as you can see on the screen, as well as letting us know who's on track. We've also got a couple of their guys who are trackside, who are feeding back information. So it's a nice collaborative thing we've got going on with The Race. However, yeah, there is no testing like being shown anywhere, despite the fact that there are people sat at different corners of the circuit filming everything. So if they wanted to, they could, but Formula One have decided not to show anything to us fans at the moment. We're seeing a few little clips. Maybe if you're in the UK, you see them on Sky Sports in the evening or during the day, and F1 have shared a few little clips to social. But yeah, that's this is as good as it's gonna get, guys.
Yeah, they're very quick to share the Pulpusing clip, weren't they? When that was kicking off, which we would have seen. But yeah, the no coverage. We will get that in Bahrain. I think we've got a picture. Have we got a picture of Alonso in the gravel?
Yes, in XPB, which is who we are also bringing all these amazing photographs, thanks to XPB, who we're also working with. But yeah, Alonso's taken a trip into the gravel, kicked up some dust from that journey off the track.
Let's get that picture in.
Yeah, but it doesn't appear to have caused any red flags, any yellow flags. It's just a little off,
No drama.
Making sure he's awake in the car, keeping everybody on their toes. We did have 2 red flags yesterday, which were the first 2 red flags of the 2022 season. The first driver to cause a red flag in 2022 was Sergio Perez, who had a gearbox issue. He stopped on the exit of 10:13, just about half an hour or so before the end of the morning session. And so that had to be recovered. Red Bull making sure to wrap up the Red Bull as tight as it could, so no spy photographers could pap any pictures and share it with other teams. And then also Nikita Mazzapin had a fuel pump issue, I believe it was, shortly into the afternoon session, which meant he stopped out on track and brought out the red flags. But we haven't had anybody, making contact with the wall, or everyone has been very well behaved. So it's been
so far so good. Just the bouncing, porpoising issues. Did someone in the chat has said, did you guys see the porpoising video for Ferrari? Yeah, it is absolutely insane. You guys were on stream when you saw it. That is genuinely one of the most visually insane things I've ever seen from a Formula One car, because when they were talking, obviously we don't have any coverage, and they were talking about this, it was like, okay. This is like, they're bouncing, but I was like, how extreme does this look? And then they shared that video of Charles Leclerc, and it looks like he's, absolutely like head flying around and bouncing up and down. It's absolutely crazy.
It is. Well, Max Verstappen, current world champion, has gone top. We're only 27 minutes into the day, so,
Verstappen hype train. I'll get the cape on.
Yeah, but he's knocked Leclerc, his initial fastest time of the day. But Verstappen has gone out on the C2 tyres and popped in a 1 minute 23.551 to jump ahead of the times. So, I think the graphic will update shortly on stream there. Having a look through some of your questions, Jarno asked, why do we have the WTF1B team today? Well, Jarno, that is very hurtful, and I'm going to go and cry now. But Matt is allowed to have a break. Poor bloke. He's been doing this all day Wednesday and all day Thursday, constantly talking 8 hours each day.
And then did voiceovers in the gap to get some videos out. Yeah,
exactly. He's worked so hard. So we thought he could have the morning off. So I'm sorry that you've got the WTF1B team, but you're going to have to deal with it because he'll not coming back
this afternoon.
He will, yeah.
Another thing that's quite interesting, actually, I've just seen on the race live timing, which I'm very much hoping I did put in the description. I believe I did. From day 3. This is from Scott Mitchell. It says, Steiner and team owner Gene Haas have arrived together yesterday. It must have been a difficult day for them. There's a lot of sympathy in the paddock towards the people of Haas, but ultimately its most high-profile issues can all be traced to Gene not willing to put more money in himself. That's what led to the Rich Energy deal and to the Uralkali-Mazzapin alliance. If this is the end of that, then Gene will need to step up and support his team properly. That's pretty savage.
Well, he was there in Barcelona on Wednesday, at least. I don't know if he's jumped on a private jet and run away scared or anything, or if he's still on the ground there. But put some responsibility on Gene Haas.
I heard a lot of people, obviously there's no factual evidence, it's just people just thinking, I wonder, and we'll have the discussion because I've seen a lot of people saying it in the chat. Andretti recently said they want to get involved. Could they just buy Haas out and say, all right, Gene, if you don't want to put money in, we want an F1 team, we'll have it, thank you very much, which would be cool. But also at the same time, I kind of want an extra want an extra team.
An extra team.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want it to be a case where it's like, I don't know, just like if we can get an extra team, I'd much prefer that. I'd like, Haas however much they've become a bit of a laughing stock. I want more teams on the grid, so...
I agree. Well, you can get a maximum of 26 cars on the grid. That's the current sporting regulations. So there is space for them. Obviously, it's not just a case of showing up in Bahrain with a car and being like, hi guys, can you let me take part in FP1? There is a big process that has to go through it, including a £200 million entry fee and plenty of hoops to jump through. But yeah, perhaps a buyout could be on the cards. Lots of people in the chat saying that they want Andretti to get that spot on the grid. So yes, we'll have to wait and see. Even in pre-season, there's so much F1 drama. I thought we'd left the drama behind in Abu Dhabi, but it keeps coming. So let's have a look at the race live chat. If you want to follow the race's live hub that they've got, there is a link down in the description below, but please don't leave us. Keep both of them open, and then you've got both streams of information. But
absolutely.
They've just shared a social graphic from Haas showing Nikita Mazzapin on track in that completely white livery, which chat is saying that they are loving the white livery. And yeah,
I've just put a poll
I have
up.
to agree. Oh, lovely. Well, I'm
Do
going
you
to vote
prefer
on
the
that
plain
right
white
now.
house?
I've said yes. At the moment, one vote, and that's me, and it's 100%. So that's the stop the count, as people would say.
It's funny, everyone just like, it looks clean. All the work that goes into a livery and just looks better. That just plain white with a house logo on it.
Yeah.
Who knew livery design was so simple?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine just showing up to the meeting being like, here's my design. It's just white.
Looks like a fighter jet.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
it actually it shows I like the cars when they've sort of got they use the black to like shape them, and I think it's quite cool that the Haas have like blacked out all the winglets, and you've got that bit of black on the side pod and their vent on the side. So someone saying it looks like a fighter jet. It does. It looks very cool actually. I like it.
It really does.
And they do still have the
wicked.
1&1 sponsorship, which is obviously Mick's sponsor. So it's not completely plain, but it's certainly looking very plain without their main title sponsor and their colours on it.
Yeah, it looks lovely. Like you say, mate, let's just have all white cars.
93%.
Let's not have white cars. White cars. Now, one thing that is happening this afternoon, which some of you might find interesting, there was meant to be rain in the air anyway in Barcelona, so we might have seen a little bit of wet weather running. However, this afternoon, during the lunch break, there are going to be several trucks making their way onto the circuit in Barcelona, and they're going to be artificially wetting the track to get ready for some proper wet weather testing of these brand new tyres. Obviously, we've got the 18-inch tyres this year compared to 13-inch last year. And yeah, we're going to be seeing the guys trying out the full wets and the intermediates. But I think that's quite a quirky little thing to have. Everybody's having their lunch break, their press conferences, whatever. And during that time, they're going to be sending trucks out to literally get the track as wet as possible.
Change the weather. They could
trying to do like a reverse of Turkey a few years ago when they sent cars out to deliberately dry the track. And now they're trying to make it wetter. So
yeah, should have just done the testing in the UK and they could have had the rain.
That's so true. I know, yeah, just do some running around Brands Hatch or something like that.
Yeah.
But an interesting story relating to that. So Gary Anderson, who is a tech expert legend, has got a funny story about some wet weather testing, which hopefully you guys will enjoy. So he said, I have never been a big fan of artificially soaking a circuit for wet running using methods like F1 will use this afternoon. I remember a test at Valencia back in 2003 where they pumped water from the lake in the middle of the track onto the circuit for wet testing. Giancarlo Fisichella went out in the Jordan and spun immediately because the water was so full of algae that it made it impossible to drive. So we all had to sit around and do nothing.
Wow.
Incredible. That is actually amazing. And you and I, both of us, Tommy, have been to that circuit in Valencia, if it is the Circuit Ricardo Tormo.
Yeah.
That's where we met, because Formula E do their pre-season testing there as well. And if that's the one, I know the exact lake they're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, I know which one you mean. Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. Yeah, because I guess artificially soaking the track is not the same as rainwater.
No. So, I'd be a bit concerned if algae started falling from the sky, and that was how they were going to decide that. But yeah, interesting technique there. Also makes me very, very sad to see people in the chat going, I was born in 2003. And I'm like, no. Oh my gosh, I feel so old.
We've got Fernando Alonso top of the timesheets now. L Plan has kicked in. He's done a 121.2. So very the spin did not affect him at all. He's currently 2 seconds quicker.
He's gone through one of those stars you get a Mario Kart. He's gone super quick now.
People in the chat going, show the Haas. I'm guessing you've just joined. We've shown it a lot. For people that want to see it, I'll put it on the screen for a bit. There we go. There's the plain Haas.
Oh my God, people here born in 2008. Oh my goodness, 2006. That's incredible. But yes, El Plan is in full force. So I don't know if we've got a great deal to worry about. Well, I know it's only 36 minutes into testing for today.
You mean your tattoo?
Well, yes, that too. For those of you that don't know, I'll briefly go over it because I don't want to dwell on it. I said if Fernando Alonso wins the World Championship this year, I'll get El Plan tattooed. So, seeing the Alonso puts Alpine on the top of the timesheets is giving me I'm a little bit scared, but it's, and let's say an uncharacteristic result for Alpine so far, because we haven't really seen them at really the top of the timesheets. The best time that an Alpine has done so far was Alonso, who managed to do a 1 minute 21.746, and that was on C3 tyres on Wednesday. That was his best time so far. So still, in fact, that will be quicker than the time he set on Wednesday. So that's
decent stuff from Fernando. I'm liking that BWT Alpine a lot more. Has to be said. I wouldn't say despised it, but when I saw it at launch, I was like, "Oh, that's not what I wanted." But yeah, now it's on track, and you see all the cars together. There was a great shot yesterday. If I can get it, where they're all on the grid. A couple of cars doing their practice starts, and yeah, it was cool because we're going to have a very colourful grid this year. Although not the Haas, if it's going to be plain white. But I guess it'll stand out because it'll be unique, that's for sure.
Yeah, I do like it. I think, as you've mentioned, there are certain parts on the car that are red, which clashes with the pink. And I did love the Alpine livery from last year. It was beautiful.
It's the best one.
But I'm also quite happy to see the pink back on the grid, because I did realize when it was gone how much I did like the Racing Point.
Racing Point was the only problem with the new livery is because the Racing Point well, I guess it's not as extreme, but in my opinion the Racing Point will be an iconic, like it'd be like a cult kind of cult hero, if you like, that people will remember that livery whether they love it or hate it, especially the fact that Sergio Perez won that absolutely epic race in it, and he will that it will go down in history, and whether people hate it or love it, in like 20 years time F1 fans will be like look back on that livery and have lots of opinions whether they love it or hate it, but yeah, they'll be like, oh, do you remember the pink Racing Point that won that Perez won the race in? And yeah, it's quite it's going to be one of those liveries that people look back on. Yeah, it's cool. I'm just getting a picture of it now, actually.
Oh yeah, do. But yeah, of course, the Alpine livery that we're seeing on track for Barcelona at the moment is the one that they're going to be running at the majority of races this year. However, we will be getting the well, not full BWT pink, but there's a lot of pink on it, which will be running in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia as a bit of a celebration into having this BWT title partnership. So, yeah, it's. I mean, I just miss the Racing Point. I think 2020 will be a year that has some of the best liveries. The Renault, I really like the Renault and the yellow of the Renault. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, I miss the yellow.
Yeah, so many amazing cars. But we do have now like the Aston Martin and stuff like that, which is also a beautiful livery. And
it's not too bad, is it?
It's not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Give it
Chat,
a 10.
let us know what your favourite liveries are so far this year, and maybe even previous years. If you've got an all-time favourite, let us know in the chat. Did you say what's my Aston Martin livery out of 10?
I was just saying I gave it 10 out of 10. What about you?
Probably quite close. I would have liked to see more lime green. I'm not going to lie. I think embrace that a bit more. So I'm going to give it a 9.5 for that reason, but it's very close to a 10. Daniel
Silva asks, where do you get all these amazing images from? It's from our image partner XBB, who are out in Barcelona. So even though there's no coverage, we can obviously show you some pictures so you can actually see something. And they've got some amazing photographers out there. So let us know who you want to see on track, and we'll do our best. Because of course I am getting a picture of Max out on track, because their side pods
that's still a big talking point.
Still there with their unpainted carbon fiber side pod, which I think will be painted by the time we get to the first race, but it definitely looks very extreme.
It's a savage side pod, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. And they've also got a classic aero rake on there as well, which we see a lot in testing.
Yeah.
Which you've written all about.
We have, yeah. If you want to know why they've got these big rakes on the car, or Flovis, which is that bright green or yellow paint that you might have seen on the cars over the last few days, you can go to WTF1.com and have a read about why they are all there. Going through the chat, and you guys are letting us know what your favorite liveries have been. Matteo says the Ferrari. Gabrielle says El Ugly, which I'm guessing is referring to the Alpine. We've got Elliot says the McLaren Chrome was one of my favorites. I think
we're going throwback, are we?
We're going proper throwback, yeah. Isaac saying the Alpine. Chris saying Ferrari. Lots of Ferraris and Alpine. People, Dan ST already in the chat saying he wants to see Frank, Tommy, which is Tommy's dog. For those of you that might be tuning in.
Come on then, Frank. Let's give the people what they want.
Let's see. Rafael says, current Alfa Romeo with the camo is great. They should stay with it. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I see it in lights and I'm like, yeah, that looks really good. And then in other lights, I'm like, nah. But I don't think they'll keep it because you can't see any of the sponsors.
No, camo livery
and they won't be happy with that.
Testing and for testing only.
Yeah. One interesting point that was mentioned actually to do with testing liveries, which the race picked up on, I think it was Ed Straw that reported it on Wednesday, is F1 suggested that maybe all teams should have done shakedown with a testing livery, which, I mean, that would have made it incredibly difficult to spot who is who on the track. If they're all in some sort of camo, it'd be like, there's no cars on track. That was a terrible joke, by the way. I didn't really land. But what do you think to all of the teams having a testing livery, Tommy?
I'd have absolutely buzzed off it, to be honest, because I'm such a livery nerd. But I think, teams would do something fun. I can only assume if that was the case, there was a lot of the teams didn't agree to it, or were like, no, we want the sponsors, because having knowing a few people that work in Formula One teams and stuff in the livery department, I cannot see people like Sean Bull that work at Alpine that he's gone, no, actually, I don't fancy doing a really cool testing livery. It must be, the marketing teams and the manufacturers and stuff that have been like, no, we're not going to do this, because any chance for them to, do a cool testing livery, they're going to jump on it. And that would have been really cool. Maybe we could have seen the Miami vibes Alpine or something, where they went full like pink and blue gradients, and a lot of Frank chat at the moment.
A lot of Frank chat. Also, lots of people saying, what's that fan I can hear? It's probably my laptop, guys.
It might be my computer as well.
Yeah, I've
very loud.
Taken the charger out of my laptop because it did sound like it was about to explode.
Oh, was it yours?
It could well be. So hopefully that's helped a little bit. I know somebody in the chat a few days ago said they wanted some like nice background music for these watch-alongs, but that might be a bit too much for multitasking. We've already got the stream going on, trying to make sure we screen record the timings, updating XBB. So yeah, that could have been maybe another level
Frank
to it
to
all.
buy house.
Frank to buy house. I love it.
A little update from the Race Live Hub. Go check it out in the description. But Alpine's still not using DRS. Imagine they go through the whole test and don't use it.
And Alonso's gone fastest and he's not using DRS. What a goat.
Goat Alonso. I mean, I would...
Goat Alonso. That's not a thing.
No. Lando's gone up to P2. I would... I would love Alonso to just get one more chance in a championship winning car. I really would. I know you'd be very nervous about a tattoo.
I'd be scared.
But I'd love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. I think he's one of the greatest of all time. Just in motorsport, I think the fact that he's gone off and just done, Indy, Le Mans, Dakar, Daytona. I just think he's an absolute legend, and I'm massively fanboying right now. But I really would love to see him. Sorry, British bias, huh? But yeah, clearly,
if you're such a big fan of Alonso, how did you act when you got a chance to do a podcast recording with him last year? Because you seemed very chilled, laid back on the podcast. Because you did it with Tony Kanaan, or Khan, is it Tony Khan?
Tony Kanaan. Yeah,
IndyCar
driver.
Rubens Barrichello, and Fernando Alonso. The three of them, three absolute legends of motorsport. And you just be like, hi Alonso, how's it going, mate? Yeah. But were you actually like inside like, oh my God, it's Fernando?
A little bit. I'm quite a chilled out, calm person, as you probably noticed anyway.
Quite mellow.
Quite mellow. Boring, some people might say. But,
no, you're not boring. I don't want to hear you say these things.
But yeah, with Fernando.
We have a red flag, Tommy.
Oh, sorry,
mate. And it's for Fernando Alonso.
I've just jinxed him.
We've jinxed him so bad. Oh, unbelievable. Yeah, we have a red flag. Chat is letting us know, red flag as well.
The absolute jinx of me just fanboying over Alonso.
I love Fernando Alonso. He has appeared to have stopped in the final sector. Don't know why yet. Guys, we'll update you as soon as we know anything about it. But yes, there is a red flag. So everybody will be heading back to the pits and to the garage. So I'm really sorry to Tommy to interrupt you on your Alonso chat. Do you want to carry on now we have stopped running?
I'm just trying to find. I'm just actually going to put a tweet out. So you carry on about Alonso.
Okay,
just currently off. Slow. What an eventful. How long have we been? Not even an hour yet.
Yeah.
And he's spun off, gone fastest, and now stopped.
He is giving that entertainment factor. Lots of people in the chat saying L flag. It's all part of L plan. So apparently we don't need to worry. But yes, we did massively jinx that. I'm really, really sorry to all the Alonso fans. I live with an Alonso fan. I live with my brother, and he has been a huge Alonso fan since he's been watching Formula One. So watching Qatar with him last year was an experience, up off the sofa, being like, please get this podium, please get the podium. Yeah, well, to be honest, I think it was quite a lot of us F1 fans.
Yeah,
because it had been like 7 years since he got his last podium in Formula One. So amazing stuff there. But right, guys, well, we've got the red flag. Any questions that you want answered? I can read through, but you can see the timings already. But Alonso, before bringing out the red flags, was fastest of the day. He set a 1 minute 21.242 on the C3 tyre and has completed 12 laps. Next up is Lando Norris, who, as it currently stands, has the fastest lap time over the 3 days so far, which he set on Wednesday, which was a 1 minute 19.5. He's currently doing a 1 minute 21.397. We've also got Verstappen up there, Leclerc in 4th, Vettel in 5th, Gasly in 6th, Russell in 7th. So he's out there for Mercedes today. Managed to complete 17 laps before that red flag came out, which is, a good haul. And from looking at the others, that's the best of everyone so far, those 17 laps. We've then got Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu, as he apparently likes to be called, who is in 8th there with a 1 minute 24.9. And then Nikita Mazzapin in 9th and Alex Albon in 10th.
As he likes to be called. Asian naming is the other way around, so.
Is it Albon Alex?
No, well, yeah, but
what are you talking about?
Yeah, Guan Yu Zhou he's Zhou Guan Yu, but I guess in Western, we've sort of given him the surname Zhou.
And I learnt yesterday, so Guan Yu Zhou Guan Yu, so, he is going to be racing this year with the number 24. And I learnt why he has picked that racing number. Do you want to have a guess? And chat, do you want to have a guess as well as to why he's picked the number 24 to race with? Let's see.
I have no idea.
No, let's have a look and see, because there's a bit of a delay from us to what the chat's saying. But people that maybe watched Ted's Notebook yesterday, like I did, let's see if people know. Lots of people saying Yuki does not. Oh, this is interesting, yeah. As to the whole name.
People have got it in the chat. I can see now. Kobe, right? Is that the correct?
What's Kobe?
Kobe Bryant. That's surely that why he's picked number 24.
No.
Are you going to say something else?
Yeah, it's something else. So, I was like, Kobe, because I thought of Kobe Bryant, but I thought it was something else. So, a few people, a few people in the chat have got it. Let's see if I can pause it and see. Luke Magic has got it. Who else in here? Let's see. Chris as well has got it. So yes, 2 times 4, so the 24, is 8, and 8 is the luckiest number in China. So that is why he is the number 24, apparently.
And also tribute to Kobe, apparently. It's both. It's both.
It's both.
He
that's the reason he gave
that
yesterday.
It's both.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Everybody's saying, how do you not know who Kobe is? But I do know who Kobe Bryant is, but I didn't quite compute that he would have had the number 24 jersey. I'm sorry, I don't watch basketball. But I know who Kobe Bryant is. I promise I know who that is.
I was going to say, basketball is not an easy sport to watch in the UK.
No.
I really wanted to watch ice hockey when I got back from America and wanted to get into it, but you just can't watch it in the UK. So it's just impossible.
Yeah, it is. It is a very fair comment. Some
people wait.
Sports.
Why not just use 8? Because Grosjean has not been out of F1 for 2 years. It's 2 years,
That's
isn't
correct.
it?
Yeah, it's a 2-year wait. Which is why somebody like Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, just in case Andretti, because I saw a lot of people joking that Grosjean's big brain plan was to leave F1, go to Andretti, be amazing in IndyCar, and then convince Andretti to come to Formula One, and then he'll be the Andretti F1 driver. But no, you've got to wait 2 years. So obviously next year, end of this year. Wait, when did Grosjean leave? Yeah, so 2 years. Then people can pick the number 8.
Yeah, but I don't think you can change a number once you've picked it.
Unless you win the World
unfortunately
Championship.
for Guan Yu Zhou, that's the number he's got to stick with for however long he's in Formula One. But yeah, like a good example is Jenson Button. He had the number 22 when he was in Formula One, and then he left Formula One. Sad noises. But he was gone enough time that when Yuki Tsunoda joined the grid, the number 22 could become available again. So yeah, there's a little bit of a interesting number chat. Can you tell it's a red flag?
Yeah, and we have seen a few repeat numbers in the era, because I think Gasly and I want to say Kobayashi picked 10 and then was out F1 for 2 years, and then Gasly took the number 10. So we have seen it in the personal number era as well. Like you say, Jenson Button, Yuki. What made me laugh a lot is a lot of people really want to use the number 7 because it's like lucky 7.
Oh yeah, of course.
And loads of people want to use it. And obviously in 2014, when the numbers were assigned, it was in championship order of who got to pick first. And there's a great video. Obviously, Charles came later on, but Charles, I think there's an F1 video, I think it is, and they're talking about why their numbers. And Charles was like, I really didn't want I really wanted number 7, but I couldn't get it, so I just picked 16 because it's 6 + 1 = 7. And you think and Charles was like really adamant that he wanted number 7, and then Kimi was just like, I just picked a number 7. And Charles must be like, come on, you could have picked anything. I wanted that number, and you can tell he doesn't even care about it.
Oh, I love it. If you had to pick a racing number, chat, which number would you pick? And Tommy, what number would you pick if you had to pick one?
Sorry, I'm just actually seeing on Twitter because the Alonso's car is actually on fire. I thought people were just trolling because I couldn't see anything in the updates, but
oh my gosh.
he's out. Let's have a look. Red flag. It's not like absolutely insane, but yeah, I've seen a picture on Twitter, and it looks to be on fire. Alonso, Fernando.
He does not have the best of luck, does he?
So car was smoking. I'm seeing the pictures on Twitter. That's quite bad actually, because I saw, and I was talking about yesterday on stream, that Alpine themselves said we will basically sacrifice reliability for speed this season because we need to be as quick as possible. And it's not gone well, has it? Broken down already. We don't have any pictures at the moment of that. I know there are some on Twitter just from people trackside, but if we get one, we will share it with you.
We will.
But yeah, Alonso's obviously out and fine for those that can't see it and are not updated on Twitter. It's just bit of a fire. Yeah, the race have now updated their live chat. Says, looks as though we might have a little longer to wait before the session resumes. Photos from this scene show plenty of marshals with extinguishers at the scene of Alonso's parked Alpine. So quite the dramatic day for Alonso.
Poor bloke, he's not even been an hour of testing.
Yeah, not an hour gone.
Yeah.
And
Crikey. Wow, thank you very much for that update, Tommy. Because like you, I've seen a lot of people trolling in this chat over the last few days.
Yes, you get a lot of things like,
comments.
Hulkenberg's in the wall and red flag and stuff, and it's like,
I saw that one.
Goodness
There's
sake.
been a red flag for
Nigel
Nico
Mansell,
Rosberg.
yeah.
It's like, what?
Nigel Mansell's on track at the moment and stuff, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, guys, it's not true. Right, let's have a look through some of your numbers that people have picked.
Sorry, what was your number?
My number would be 23. That's my lucky number. But Alex Albon's got that, so I'd have to wait for him to be out of F1 for 2 years in order to, make my F1 debut.
Yeah.
Lots of people. Somebody called Matt in the chat said 69. Nice. There was a lot of that yesterday.
I can't believe no one's picked
69
that, to be honest.
I know. Maybe they're trying
Lando.
their best to avoid it. Yeah. Oh, that's very true. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be a proper Lando move.
Mine's funny because when I used to do a lot of sim racing when I was younger, back in like 2010, mine was 33. And obviously this is before I even knew of Max Verstappen's existence. And 33 was my number that I used. And it became sort of like legendary in our little sim racing community, that I was 33. And then when Verstappen was in Formula 3, I obviously supported him because I'm a Dutch fanboy, and watched him go through the ranks. And then when he announced that he was choosing 33 as his race number, I was like, oh my word. I'd already decided to support him, and then he literally picked my lucky number as his car number. And then no one believes me when I'm like, I did actually use that. I've got Forza 3 liveries that I used to make back in 2010 with that. So
there we go. It's just the stars are aligning that you were meant to be a Max Verstappen fanboy.
Yep. But I am sensible enough to, well, I hope anyway, despite what people on Twitter say, that because apparently I'm Hamilton biased, Hamilton hater, Verstappen biased. It just depends what I say, but I'm just honest.
Nice.
It's the way to be.
Not a fanboy, just honest.
Not a fanboy, just honest.
Lovely. Anthony Maldonado has come back with probably the only true answer. He said he would pick 95 and then just put Kachow next to it. So I'm guessing that's referring to cars.
Yeah, that's a good one. When you said his surname was Maldonado, I was thinking if I had to pick, if I was actually in F1 now, I would pick 13.
What? The unlucky 13?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because luck doesn't exist, and also
luck doesn't exist. You can tell you're also a Fernando Alonso.
Yeah,
luck doesn't exist.
tell that to Alonso. But yeah, 13. Maldonado, what a legend! Genuinely one of my favorite ever Formula One drivers. Not even joking. Just the I like personalities in F1. We want to see people with personality, and the fact that he picked 13 was just hilarious. And
amazing work.
And then brilliant.
It really is. Great. Lots of people asking in the chat if the session is still red flagged. It is, but it's going to be resuming at 10:05, so in about 2 minutes. So we're still under red flag conditions. Alpine have just tweeted about Alonso. Let's have a look and see what they've said. They have said, red flag, Fernando asked to stop the car at turn 13 due to a loss of pressure. That is the official update from Alpine. So due to a loss of pressure is what they're saying. But as we've seen from people at the side of the track, it does look like there have been some fire extinguishers of some sort deployed onto the car. But Alonso is out of the car. He's fine. He's probably making his way back to the pits as we speak. But yes, we will be we'll be on track, green light conditions in about a minute or so. So thanks everybody for keeping us company during this red flag and the stream in general. It's been lovely to have you all here. I know a lot of you are missing Matt. But yeah, Tommy and I are filling for Matt so he can have a bit of time off, because poor guy has been talking for 16 hours straight on stream and then doing additional videos all about what we've learned at the end of each day, different types of like what porpoising is. That was recorded and shared yesterday. So
yeah, give that a watch. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
the fact that none of the teams really like could plan it. It's the perfect thing of like you can only do so much in a wind tunnel and on a computer, and then yeah.
It is proved quite a big surprise for a lot of teams, it sounds like. So, yes, if you haven't seen the video circulating on social media, F1 shared it yesterday. Basically, the cars are bouncing up and down, which doesn't look to be too comfortable. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I know driving an F1 car might not be the most comfortable thing in the world anyway. I think I would rather be sat on my sofa. But they've obviously got their seats fitted to them. So they are nice and squidged into their cars and comfortable there. But yeah, when you've got a technical term. Yeah, exactly. But when you've got a car that's literally bouncing up and down, like that's not going to be great.
Fantastic photos here of Alonso. I think this is.
Oh wow! Yeah, they are brilliant.
James Moy.
Get some of those uploaded.
I'll share them.
Jeepers! Yeah, we'll get those shared on the stream.
Now there's a photographer that's in the right place at the right time. What a shot!
Yes.
I will share those with you right now. Stream. Wow. What a photo that is.
That is wicked. Wow.
Right, here we go.
Yes, as we were saying, Fernando Alonso has quite the history of pre-season testing dramas. Probably the most notable being when he was reportedly electrocuted during the first runnings, or was it of the McLaren Honda when that partnership happened? Which
that was
sounds
in our conspiracy video on it, which it's a very widely believed conspiracy. While just like, you know, that image should be up now. What a shot that is. Fair play to James Moy from XPB, our image partner, for getting that shot, because that is one hell of a photo. Look at that. Glad to see Fernando's fine straight out the car, so no issues there, but it just looks so dramatic, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So yeah, repeating what Alpine have said on their socials, saying Fernando asked, so he wasn't asked, he himself asked to stop the car at turn 13, which is where Sergio Perez had his gearbox issue yesterday, due to a loss of pressure. Now, I'm not a technical expert, but that seems like quite a lot of extinguishers and quite a dramatic picture for a car that's just had a bit of a loss of pressure, but I could be completely wrong.
Yes, there's more. I think there's more to it than that. I imagine there's slight internal screaming from Fernando there.
Yes, very scary moment, but good to see that he was managed to get out of the car. And of course, a huge thank you to the incredible marshals that we have that are making sure that these sessions run as smoothly as possible. They are absolute heroes of this sport, so we wouldn't be able to do it without them. So
indeed, even on a, like say, a untelevised test day, they're out there doing their job all day.
Love it.
And not paid either, volunteers. So from my understanding anyway, even I'm not sure if that's the case in testing or what, but I know that marshalling is something that people volunteer to do. So yeah, it's incredible.
It is. Right, guys, we have a green light as the Alpine has been now reunited with the garage and the session is now running again. 7 cars have gone straight out there to try and get as much time as possible. So that's people saying LGP2 engine. GP2
L
engine
plan as well, but L just with the letter L.
Oh dear, that's amazing. Right, so as you guys can see, we have a rundown of the top 10 so far. So Alonso, before he had this very dramatic stoppage on track and caused the red flag, was a 1 minute 21.242 seconds, which is the quickest time of the day. Alpine's still having issues with their DRS as well. So that was reportedly set without the DRS being open. We've then got Lando Norris in P2, Max Verstappen, world champion, in P3, Leclerc P4, Vettel P5, Gasly P6, Russell P7, Zhou in P8, Mazzapin in P9, and Albon in P10. And as it stands before the red flag, George Russell is the guy who has set the most number of laps. But of course, we can look into these timings, but the reality of it is that everybody will be on different fuel loads. Some people might be sandbagging. And just because Fernando Alonso was quickest an hour into the final day of testing does not mean he's going to be the world champion. It's just a case of...
he certainly won't be if his car's on fire.
That's very true.
Caption competition time while I'm making...
Oh, lovely. I love a caption competition.
Hang on. Background. It's another Fernando image. Hang on. Just waiting for that to update.
I just got a notification from TikTok saying, "Hi, Katie Fairman. Lando Norris has just posted a new video." Well, I would hope not, because he's currently on track.
Yeah. Now,
he's filming a TikTok whilst going around to his McLaren.
Now, there's a way to tell you that they don't do their own social media.
That's very true.
Right.
Ooh,
Caption.
Oh my gosh, we just had a little
Caption
glimpse of the,
this, guys.
Let's see.
Got Fernando just staring at his car with hands on hip. Just looking. I think it would be very much the same.
Yeah. That is an amazing picture. Not a fan of the overalls. I know, his car could literally can't be on fire. That's probably not the most important thing to look at, but I'm really not a fan of the overalls. You can see from pictures on XPB, there's just loads of smoke absolutely billowing out of the back of the car before he came to a stop on track. So, yes, could well be an oil issue or something along those lines. I'll see who's out on track for you at the moment. As the race reported, 7 cars headed straight out. I'll see which of those 7 cars are out there. As ever, if you have any questions you want asked, we can ask the guys on the ground for you. Let's read some of your caption answers. So, Mr. Barto said, why do I always have to burn my toast? PJ Hayward said, where's my deck chair? That's a good one. Austin Fowler, this livery is hot. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Andrea says, this won't pass the MOT. H. Will says, I thought I left this behind 4 years ago. Yeah, it's a bit of a McLaren Honda flashback. Let's see. Rob Umont, what is L Plan B? And lots of GP2 engines.
Yes, I imagine.
One saying, well, that could have gone better. Byron, Otmar, Pat, is it meant to do that? But yes, those of you just tuning in, that is Fernando Alonso, who caused the red flag this morning for stopping his car on track. And, well, you can see why he had to stop the car. Who is out on track at the moment? Jack Cousins, our guy on the ground.
Jack Cousins is out on track.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
who's
I see what
that
you mean.
driver?
Who's on track? Jack Cousins.
I was like, oh, is he a new driver though?
Yeah, he's they've already got a replacement for Alonso Alpine. So Lando Norris is currently out on track along with Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, George Russell, and Guan Yu Zhou or Zhou Guan Yu. I feel like I have to say that for him every time.
Don't start saying that every time.
Cover both options.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's who's out on track at the moment. So Verstappen has just beaten Alonso's time and goes top of the timesheets. He has set a 1 minute 20.683, and that is on the C3 tyre. And so far, he's managed to do 19 laps of running today. So a fairly successful morning, although we are only an hour and 15 minutes into it.
You carry on chatting. I'm currently just uploading Alonso picture to the gram.
No drama.
And if you're not following us on Instagram, give us a follow, because we're also trying to get to a million followers on that, 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah. Basically, follow us on every single platform and we will love you forever.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at what is going on the Race Live Hub at the moment. So a person has asked, called Sean, has asked the race, what are the thoughts on Williams this season? So as we say that, Albon in his Williams is now sat 7th on the timings today. He's set a 1 minute 23.618 on the C2 tyres. But Gary Anderson, who is our trackside expert, said yesterday that he thought it was a little tricky at times and it was a car that the driver really needed to pay attention to, but ultimately he was reasonably impressed with the Williams. It's absolutely impossible to tell right now how competitive it is, but the issues have looked few and far between. And Alex Albon seems to be integrating well, and the team is reasonably high up in the mileage department. So for those Williams fans that are hoping for a better year than last year, which, to be fair, the first half of the season didn't really go Williams' way. Every time George Russell seemed to be in the points, something happened until obviously we got to Hungary and we got double points for Williams. But yeah, happy to see Albon back in F1. Guys, let me know in the chat if you're also happy to see Albon back. But yeah, listening to him speak to the media yesterday, he said that it was a good foundation to start the year on in testing. And then when talking about the return to Formula One, obviously he has spent a year out after going from Red Bull and then being dropped and then back in Williams. He has said that he definitely feels an ache when you wake up the next day after being in a Formula One car. You can really feel it in your neck, which I'm sure lots of drivers, people like Danny Rick, has been saying that as well. But it's a completely different driving style to what I am used to, which is actually quite a common bit of feedback, that these drivers really are having to learn how to drive these cars differently.
Good.
So I wish good, he's saying.
Yeah. They shouldn't be easy to drive. Like, I know this makes me sound like a moany old man, but like, it's obviously incredible the grip they get and stuff. And while it was really cool that, Charles Leclerc could go around 130R one-handed holding his wing mirror on, while that is really cool, at the same time, it's kind of like, is that just not a showcase of like, I know that they're obviously incredible athletes and we wouldn't be able to do it because it would literally rip our heads off going around with the G-forces, but like there should be some sort of challenge of the driving ability as well. Not to say that Formula One's easy before everyone comes at me, but like difficult cars to drive and longer braking zones of them not being perfect. That's what makes the racing better at the end of the day. That's why wet races are so good, because they're scrambling for grip and they're struggling. That's what makes it good. So that was Vettel, Tommy. No, it definitely was Charles Leclerc going through 130 holding his mirror on.
Yeah, there was. I think there've been quite a few on boards I've seen of drivers doing that. So crazy. Let's have a look and see what else is being.
Just needs more unpredictability. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah,
More
I think
unpredictability.
that's fine.
That's what you want in F1.
Yeah, please. Lots of people. Somebody's asked where Matt is. Matt is having Matt's having a lie-in, a bit of a break, well-deserved rest. But lots of people also asking where Frank is, which I think is actually more important than where Matt is.
Well, I'm going to fall off if I keep lifting him up all day.
You've got to somehow sort of figure in a 15-minute show of Frank and then take it back down again.
The new show and tell for F1
is.
teams, but it's me with Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be more popular.
Should we talk about the show and tell format, because that might be something that people tuning in might not know much about?
Yeah, before you go into that, though, I will just say that glad someone noticed that I matched your cushions today with my top.
Yeah, well, one thing I also noticed as soon as we went live, so I have this plant behind me, and the way I'm sitting, it looks like I've got things sprouting from my ears.
Like elf ears. Like
elven
ears,
like
maybe.
Little elf ears or like antennas or something. So I might have to change how I'm sitting.
It's just
for the afternoon session.
like a arrow. You're just running some new arrow.
Yeah, got a little rake behind me. Oh dear. I can't wait for that to be mentioned about in the chat. But yes, that's that's the situation this morning.
Frank should have his own channel. Everyone, he does have his own Instagram, and I'm gonna plug
Frank
it.
Needs
I'm
his
gonna
own
be
webcam. Yeah, we need Frank cam.
Let me. What's he on? I want to see Frank get to. What's he on now? 9,000 followers. He's on 8,800. He's frank.the.sausage on Instagram, and if you love Frank and want to see more of Frank, then he does have an Instagram. I'm just going to plug that because why not?
I love that. I love it. Yeah. If you want, change my thing to Frank, the sausage dog, and we'll get some more followers to Frank. But yeah, I am probably going to get myself a drink, and I need to publish something of Hannah's. So are you okay to fill for a few minutes, Tommy?
Absolutely, because Max Verstappen is top, so I will talk about that.
Perfect. Okay, chat. I will be back. I'll see you shortly. Yes, get Frank. There you go. Everybody will just be loving that.
Okay, here's Frank. So as you can see, we have Max Verstappen fastest at the moment. A 1:20.6. Fastest time yesterday. Oh my word, he's almost at 9,000 followers already. You guys work quick. I've actually just refreshed now. 8,900, 8,994. Who's gonna be the 9,000s over 9,000? There we go, 9,000 followers. Well done, Frank. How do you feel? Tell us how you feel. Really? Interesting. Cool. So, yes, Max Verstappen, currently fastest. Although, let me have a look what the best time was from yesterday, which was Charles Leclerc. A 1:19.6. So second off, but obviously times don't matter in this session, despite people getting very pressed by the fact that Hamilton was slowest yesterday. But don't read too much into it. It's testing. Hi, Frank. Everyone. Everyone going mad for Frank. So Verstappen fastest, for those that they can't see, he's a 20.6, 22 laps. Alonso second, but his car is back in the garage and on fire. So not great for him in second. Norris third, Leclerc fourth, Vettel fifth, Gasly sixth, Albon seventh, Russell eighth, Guan Yu Zhou ninth, and Mazzapin in 10th. Mazzapin has actually done the least laps today. Guan Yu Zhou with 12, so the same as Alonso. So, I mean, Alfa Romeo have been the biggest struggle with their kind of running. What breed is Frank? He's a miniature dachshund, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yeah, miniature dachshund. And he's got dapple colour. You can't really see him because of the... There we go. There we go. There's a bit better Frank cam. I'll zoom my camera in later. Will the afternoon be wet running? Apparently so. They're going to be soaking the track, so we'll get to see some shots. If you're just joining us, we've had quite the drama with Fernando. This incredible shot from James Moy from XBB. Poor Fernando. Is Fernando low rake? No, he's high rake. A very high rake, actually. It's actually quite funny. He does actually have... he is very high rake. His chest is very low to the ground. Can you show the Haas? Yes, I can. For people that have not seen the Haas yet, that are just tuning in this morning. Where are we? Good picture of it there. There we go. Hello. Is Frank on the payroll? What happened to Fernando? I'm not sure if we know yet. Let me just have a look. Not sure on the actual reasoning yet, but we will update you as soon as that happens. Let me, for those that want to see the Haas as well, we've got a nice comparison picture the guys at the race made. It's in their live blog, which is in the description. That's where we're getting our updates from, because we cannot see what is going on. There we go. There is Haas. Have we still got the Haas poll? Yes, we do. 86% of you prefer the new Haas livery. And by new Haas livery, the removed the removed Haas livery. Frank's Instagram followers have gone up by like massive. That's hilarious. What's happened to Haas's sponsor? So obviously the current situation is going on in Russia. There's been in Ukraine. Obviously, you've all seen it on the news. And Haas's title sponsor, Uralkali, have strong ties to Vladimir Putin. And obviously a lot of those companies, they've been having sanctions against them. So, yes, not a great place for Haas to be at the moment. I imagine a lot of people at Haas, again, worrying if they're going to be getting paid again, like the Rich Energy situation. New look is so badass. People are loving. Frank's Instagram following is going to pass mine, yeah. Very true. Let us know what car you want to see. Shows the Haas. The Haas should be on screen right now. Do I think Mazzapin will get dropped? I think if they don't get the money, I would not be surprised if we see Mazzapin replaced by Fittipaldi. we shall see. I'm just going to move my camera up now. Frank's gone. Aston. Let's get an Aston shot for you all. Sebastian Vettel in the car this morning. Aston looks very nice on track, has to be said. Much better. Let's get this photo up of the Aston Martin. There we go. There is Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin. Colour pops a lot more than last year. Very much nicer. Update on McLaren. Let me ask. Who's on track? So who's on track right now? Verstappen's just brought the Red Bull back in after a decent stint on the C3s. That leaves just Albon and Russell out there for the time being. So pretty quiet on track at the moment. But Norris has done 18 laps, currently sitting in P4.
Hello, I have returned.
Lovely stuff.
Thank you for filling for that. I did keep my headphones in, so I heard that Frank's Instagram followers have rocketed up.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just trying to get something out on WTF1.com about Fernando Alonso.
Exactly. We are all of us are like the Matt said it the other day, the meme where the guy's carrying all the stuff and juggling multiple things, because we are obviously live for you all day on YouTube, but we have it's just us guys doing the social, the website and everything else too. So we are certainly busy peeps today.
We are busy bees. Will it rain at the track? There was rumor of it being wet in like the sky. I have to say in the sky, because also there is going to be wet testing later today, but that's going to be artificial. There are going to be trucks heading out during the lunch break to make the track as damp as possible, so they can try these new intermediates and new full wet tires. So it might be that we actually get some proper rain alongside it. But yeah, I was listening to an interview with Sergio Perez yesterday, and they were like, "So are you doing the wet weather testing tomorrow?" And he was like, "Yeah," like he didn't sound too happy about it. So he's obviously pulled a short straw there, where Max is like, "I want as much dry running as possible." Checo can take the wet weather trialing, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. People asking in the chat, did Alonso crash? What is that pick? He did not crash. He just had to stop on track because there was some smoke billowing out the back of his Alpine. And yeah, it looks a bit more dramatic than it probably was, because they've got a lot of fire extinguishers there just in case, to make sure that there's nothing too bad going on. But yeah. That's the dealio for the Alonso.
Not great stuff.
No.
Just serious flashbacks for Fernando, seeing his car already grinding to a halt and lots of smoke. Got another shot here of it actually. Proper. This looks like some kind of like movie shot or something, like him trying to be cool walking away from the smoke.
Lots of people asking to show us the Haas livery. We've had it on loads, but we
you can tell when people join.
Yeah, people just joining. So yeah,
I'll try and flick through pictures as much as possible rather than leaving them on. But here's the new Fernando shot of him from Jamie Price from XPB.
Wonderful Jamie Price, lovely. So yeah, at the moment we have green flag conditions, which is good. Verstappen is still top of the timesheets with a 1 minute 20, 0.683, and that was set on the C3 tyre. But just underneath him is George Russell in his Mercedes, who set a 1 minute 20.767. Now, George Russell, I mean, he's not going to come out and say, yeah, Mercedes have got this in the bag, is he? But
No.
He has been speaking to media over the last 2 days, saying that a certain red team and a certain orange team are looking very, very strong this year, and basically saying that Mercedes aren't the favourites, which George Russell...
They say that every year, but...
It's the second day, or today is now the third day, but yesterday was the second day of testing, okay? You don't have to be quite so... what's the word?
Pessimistic.
Pessimistic, yeah, thank you. But yeah, George Russell is saying the road car's looking particularly strong. And then you've got Mattia Binotto saying Ferrari aren't going to be as strong as maybe some people might think. But nobody's going to give away what's going on. Nobody's going to rock up and be like, yeah, we've got the championship in the bag. We're going to beat everybody on track. It's not going to be a problem. Everybody wants to be a bit coy, a bit shy.
Everyone's going to downplay themselves, aren't they?
100%. The real show will be Q3 Bahrain. Who's looking quick there? And yeah, Alex Gee in the chat says, "Can you show us the Jordan?" No, I don't think that's out on track today, I'm afraid. People saying Russell has been infected with a classic Mercedes bug. Yeah, just PR machine, really, isn't it? It's just they can't go out.
It would be very interesting if Ferrari and McLaren are. Imagine if Ferrari and McLaren are the two quickest teams, and it's a almost Uno reverse card of when the regulations changed at the end of 2008, and Ferrari and McLaren had that incredible title battle where it went down to obviously the final lap in Brazil between Massa and Hamilton. And then they did the new regulation changes. They'd put so much effort into those new regs, and came back the next year in 2009. And in fact, I will find out where they qualified, because I remember they were not very good. Obviously, that was the year that Braun GP came in and won the race and were incredibly quick. But Ferrari and McLaren were absolutely dreadful. Ferrari not quite so dreadful. They were 7th and 9th on the grid, and the McLarens qualified 14th and 15th the year after winning the championship. Jeez. So imagine we get a situation like that again, where Red Bull and Mercedes are just nowhere because they put so much effort into that crazy end to the season. Don't buy it personally. They're the ones at the end of the day with the most money, along with Ferrari, and so I'd be amazed if it's not. But yeah, don't count McLaren. Maybe McLaren are the dark horses. There's the Alfa Romeo camo livery, which we've mentioned a few times, that they probably want to be hidden because they've not had a great test, to say the least.
They've not, no. Lots
Put it
of
mildly,
issues.
to be honest.
Yeah, plenty of issues that seem to have really affected the running of things. Robert Cubitzer was the first of the Alfa Romeo drivers. Obviously, he's not a full-time driver; he's their reserve driver, but he got some time in the car on Wednesday morning.
Not a lot of it.
And no,
9 laps.
I think just a few laps. Yeah, he was just under 10 laps. So, not a great start for him when you had Max Verstappen like racking up something over like 50 laps in the morning or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was in the car, and then obviously Valtteri Bottas has moved to the team for 2022, and he's had some time in the car, but not as much as I think he wanted to have. But yes, Alfa Romeo really not had the best time. Apparently, they've brought some parts in, and I was listening to the race podcast this morning, because the race are also doing podcasts after every single day of testing, because they are legends and they're delivering the goods. but I forget who it was. I think it might have been Mark Hughes. Maybe said that they'd done some damage to the gearbox, I think, after changing the floor. Might be worth fact checking that with the race guys, but it sounds like they're having a right old palaver.
Yeah, I think it said a lot that Bottas cancelled his media session yesterday.
He
I think
did,
it was,
yeah.
Which is basically, for who it may
Code
concern,
for, oh dear.
F you, go away.
F you, go away. That's going to be the new Bottas phrase.
Yeah.
To who it may concern, don't
Go away.
speak to me. I'm having a strop.
Yeah. So yeah, that camo livery, very cool, but not very.
ASOS bag livery.
ASOS bag. I laughed when because I've got an ASOS return that I need to send off, and it looks exactly like that.
It does. Do you know what? I actually had a dream that had an ASOS return.
Sorry, it just jumped off my.
Oh my gosh, my face is going to be an absolute picture with that. I thought Frank had like chewed through your internet cable or something.
No.
I was like, oh no,
It just fell off.
oh my
fell
gosh,
off the chair.
So funny. Oh, Frank.
It's fine.
Dear.
It's
People
fine.
in the chat asking the important questions here. I'm really sorry if I butcher your name. Carrot or Carrot asked, did Tommy play the guitar today? Tommy, you need to play the guitar behind you at some point, because this is going to be your final update stream for the testing, for Barcelona testing.
That.
So you're going to have to do it, or you're going to have to somehow show up for the last hour of the day or something.
I'll just appear on the Zoom and
well,
just do the F1 theme and then go.
Yeah, that's what we need from you. Do you know how to do the F1 theme?
I've not. I could work it out. Yeah.
Practice it and join us at maybe join us for the last half hour of the day or something, and you can play the F1 theme. Guys, give us a thumbs up on the video if you want to see Tommy return later today and play the F1 theme on his guitar that he proudly displays behind him. I can do some kind of percussion. I'm trying to think. I don't have any musical instruments, but I can I'll make an instrument or something.
Just drum on your table.
Drums. Yeah, literally. So yeah, be sure to give this video a like if you want to see Tommy play the guitar. Any requests people have got? Put them in the chat as well.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Tommy's gonna be doing
the end of the session is like when all the people are doing their laps and there's just me like playing guitar.
Jordan saying Tommy is a beast on the guitar. I would agree. A few people, Wicked Juice is saying it's called The Chain. We're not talking about Fleetwood Mac. We're talking about the F1 theme made by Brian Tyler.
People prefer The Chain.
So does it play the triangle? Do people want The Chain?
I'll do both. There you go.
Right,
we've not seen.
Oh my goodness, we're going to be spoiled.
We've not seen much. You can tell Matt's not here because we've not seen many Ferrari pictures today. Let's.
Oh yeah, well, it's because Matt's not here.
Yeah,
you've not got Matt going. I want to see the Ferrari.
To be fair, it is. I love it so much.
It is a gorgeous car. It's a beauty.
Even I'm a fanboy of it. Let me do this. Let's have a look at what's going out on track.
And Tommy play the Top Gear theme tune. Oh my goodness, Tommy, you're getting so many requests in the chat. People saying play The Chain and Katie sing along. I have always considered myself a bit of a Stevie Nicks, so you know I have not. Don't want to hear me sing. Wonderwall. Oh my goodness, this is so funny.
I'm never playing Wonderwall. That's the forbidden. That and Stairway to Heaven. It's like the forbidden songs that you're not allowed to play in guitar centres and stuff.
Love it. Right, let's have a little rundown and see. So yes, as the race live hub has updated, and don't forget, guys, you can check that out using the link in the description. But please don't leave our stream to have both open. Let's have a read through what they're saying. So Ed Straw, who is also in the ground in Barcelona, has been answering some questions. So DS23 asked on the race, Teams only bring one car to testing. Will this car be used for testing only, or will it go to one of the drivers for the rest of the season? I wouldn't be happy to take over the car that has just been used and abused for tests. So Edstraw replies, the regulations only allow one car to be run during testing, and generally teams use the same chassis throughout, although some will switch around. Assuming no damage or problems arise, which will be picked up by various tests team conduct to check stiffness and for weak points, teams will try and manage the mileage on the chassis in their active pool to balance it up over the season. It's not necessarily a bad thing to use a chassis used in testing at the start of the year. In 2020, for example, both Mercedes and Red Bull used chassis 1 for the first race of the season, and I suspect, but don't have it on the record to be sure, that this would have been used in testing. However, with the porpoising, some are suffering from chassis damage could perhaps be more of a problem this year. And that's a very good point, because we have seen over the last few days a few bits of bodywork and the floors being damaged to this porpoising effect that the teams are having. As we have plugged before, if you want to know more about what porpoising is, because that's been the buzzword of testing so far for sure, you can check out either WTF1.com. There's a nice piece in editorial, or if you want to watch a nice explainer video, Matt put one up yesterday on the YouTube, which excellently explains it all. So that is what Edstraw is saying. But yeah, at the moment, Verstappen is still the fastest guy on track with a 1 minute 20.683. The fastest time we have seen so far during this 3-day test is Lando Norris, who set a 1 minute 19.568, and that was on the C4 tyres on Wednesday. However, Charles Leclerc, who is also got the second fastest time. He set the quickest time yesterday. He's got the second fastest time overall with a 1 minute 19.689, which he set on the C3 tyres. Gary Anderson, who's another guy who's trackside, noticed that he set that fastest lap when he was his third lap into a 17-lap run. So it means that there's still a huge amount of potential lap time to be improved there, especially if, you know, with the fuel loads being decreased, the more you run, the more fuel you use, the lighter the car will become. So he suggested that we might even see some times going down to a 1 minute 17, which obviously no teams are quite reaching there yet. Maybe they're sandbagging. Maybe they don't want to risk going for a super duper fast lap. They'd rather just get the data in, keep it steady. But yeah, we could be getting some quicker times. And yeah, as the chat are mentioning, Russell in second in the Mercedes there. Chat, are we enjoying seeing Russell in the Mercedes gear? Because it seems like something we've wanted for a long, long time.
We'll be able to give us a title fight between them.
It's going to be very interesting. People asking for an update on Lando. So Lando is currently sat P3 in the day's timing sheets. I'm not sure if he's out on track at the moment. I can see and have a look. I don't think he is out on track because Albon and Russell have been out, and they were the two that were out there recently. But that's the situation. We'll see if we can look through XPB and get some images of the McLaren on the track.
We have got some new images appeared, so I'm just going to... I was actually just updating...
Timing.
Sorry, it's not Lando, but it is the lovely new Williams, which I am liking more and more every time I see it. I think it's absolutely awesome. And, hang on. Yeah, got a nice side view of it. Here we go. Because we've not seen any, I don't think we've had any Williams photos yet. Oh, that's the whole screen. Hang on.
There's some Williams love in the chat.
Sorry, I just replaced the whole of the screen with the picture of Williams. I like it, but not that much for it to just take over the whole screen. Yeah, maybe the Ferrari, but not the Williams. This is a very nerdy livery observation as well, but one thing I do really like about the Williams as well, and this is extremely nerdy, is
yeah, I've just got it laid on the thing of just the whole Williams.
Is the the number font that they use on their car is the same.
That is nerdy.
Is the same font that they used on the FW14B and the classic Williams. It's because obviously Nicholas Latifi is car number 6, and Williams used to be 5 and 6 a lot, which is what obviously they had the red 5 for Nigel Mansell. And when you see Nicholas Latifi's car, the number 6 is the same 6 that is on like the 80s cars and stuff. So there you go.
Ooh.
Some nerdy livery observation for you there. Nothing but brilliant insight from us here at WTF.
It's right. No, I find that super interesting. I'm hoping the chat are trolling us by saying there's way too much British bias going on. Come on, guys. This is the first time we've talked about Williams all day. And I'm just reading what the chat want in terms of Lando Norris content. But let's have a look. Let's change it up then. Who can we talk about that's on track?
We've not had any Alpha Tauri pictures yet.
That's true. Yes,
I've not seen much of them. How many laps have they done? Just XPB maybe just not taking...
Gasly has done 23 laps so far.
Okay, so not a huge amount.
He's currently sat in 8th. No, which he did a 1 minute 23.054, which was on the C2 tyre. For those of you that might be new to Formula One or don't know when we mentioned about the different types of tyres, C1 tyre is the hardest compound available to them, and C5 is the softest. So for somebody like Gasly, who's setting a time on a C2 tyre, that's going to be a harder tyre compound than something like Verstappen's done on a C3. Norris has currently got the fastest time overall from the test so far, and he did that on a C4 tyre, which is obviously one of the softest tyres. So that's probably why he's a little bit quicker.
Are you saying McLaren aren't incredible?
No, not at all.
Are you? No one's been out on the C5, have they?
I'm not entirely sure. I can ask in the chat, but I don't think so. Because there's no quick times that have been set on the C5. It might have been that they've run around in them, or driven around, not run around, but driven around in them, but not set a time, maybe, or maybe they've not done a quick time in them.
Here we go. Here we've got an AlphaTauri picture. They have their side pod. You can see it from this image. Not too dissimilar to the Red Bull, but the fact that they've painted it a lot nicer and maybe looks a bit less dramatic, but you can see what the huge undercut under the side pod. It's quite something. Very extreme looking.
It does, yes. We'll have to see if we can find the pictures that our wonderful graphic designer Ollie made with the AlphaTauri front wing, because that really has stayed in my mind since I saw it on Wednesday. Is a work of art. Let's have a look and see what the race are currently saying. So Aston Martin is another team that has got a gorgeous livery, in my opinion. British bias.
Yeah. It's so funny that you can get
I'll get there before the comments.
It's so funny though, because you can change British bias to any team because so many of them are based in the UK. It's even though Aston have no no British driver, then it can be actually, because they're Aston Martin. I mean, the only teams that aren't really that have no British connection, I guess, are Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, and Haas.
That's true, but Haas do have their factory in the UK, so you could argue that could be British bias.
I'm sure people will say
you can't win. You can't win, guys. But the race have done a post about Aston Martin. So Gary Anderson, who, as we've said before, is the technical legend / expert for the race. His trackside impressions from yesterday was that the Aston Martin looked quite impressive with plenty of laps logged, which would be yesterday. The car is consistent. The driver can put it in the same place lap after lap. And both drivers, particularly Sebastian Vettel, seem to have a good feel for what they have under them. Very good, promising start. I really want to see Aston Martin do better than last year.
Do you know what?
Vettel...
Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
I was going to say, do you know what Gary Anderson and I have in common?
Your real name is actually Gary.
No.
Do you share the same birthday?
No.
Are you both fans of Leeds Football Club?
I want to see if anyone in the chat, if anyone follows me on, I'll give. Here's a clue. If anyone follows me on Instagram, they might have seen.
He likes Gran Turismo.
He posts lots of Gran Turismo liveries. No, anyone in the chat can get it. You carry on with your point, and I want to see if anyone can get it in the chat. Okay. What me and Gary Anderson have in common.
While everybody is guessing.
I'm dreading the comments now.
Does he have a dog called Frank?
No.
Oh my God. I'm literally saying all the things I know about you. While everybody is guessing what Tommy and Gary Anderson have in common, there's been a new fastest lap time from Max Verstappen, who is now a second clear at the top of the timesheets, courtesy of a 1 minute 19.765 lap time. So that's just a little bit slower than Leclerc managed yesterday. So not bad. Are you reading through the comments to see if people have...
Yeah, I've only seen one person that's close. Sharon ex-girlfriend. I love these.
That's so good. Both play darts. He is the founder.
Same age, birthday, both founders. Something to do with Aston.
Pink underwear. Somebody said you both wear glasses. You're both men.
Both Scottish.
Thomas got it.
Yeah, so both wear glasses. It's like, well done. Yes, correct. I mean, technically, they're not wrong.
No. Both Northern Irish. Are you from Northern Ireland, Tom?
No, I'm not. Although Ireland is a clue.
Oh, is it?
This is so funny. It's not even that interesting, and it's also kind of partly a joke. But I will tell you what it is.
He's your cousin?
No. What it is we've both made a Jordan 191. He's made the real one. I've made a model kit.
I quit. I'm leaving. Oh my God, that's amazing.
But yeah, someone said 7-Up Jordan. Yeah, he made the real one. I got a Tamiya model kit for my birthday last year, and me and my wife made it. And my word, there's no way surely making real F1 cars are as complicated as that model kit. I've got it behind me, actually. I'll show you.
Yeah.
It took me...
If it's not displaying Frank...
I want to say nearly 4 weeks. People are just like, that's the most disappointing answer I've ever heard.
Oh, no. You set yourself up for failure, mate. Oh, gosh. Amazing. Interesting from Scott Mitchell, who is one of the guys from the race, who is in Barcelona. He has said that there's been a suspected oil leak for Haas, and that could be a big chunk of their final day loss if it means an engine change. Yikes, they are having an absolute shocker.
They're having a shocker.
Yesterday was not too bad. They managed to get some laps in yesterday, quite a few. But
there we go.
Wednesday as well was really not great. Are you showing your
I am. There is the model car. It's in a display case because I'm very scared of breaking it because it took us, honestly, so long. I love the comment, wait, Tommy's married? He looks 12. Yes.
Aww.
That, I do get that a lot. We went out the other day, didn't we? And we got I got ID'd, and the person that ID'd me went, "Oh my word, I'm sorry."
You did. Oh my gosh. But to be fair, you were out. Who else did we go out with Sophie, who's somebody else that works at WTF1 / the race, and myself. And yeah, I am used to getting ID'd when I go out. I'm 26, so I don't know if that will be a shock to people or whether people maybe thought I was older or if I'm about the right age, but I'm aware I have got quite a baby face. But yeah, getting asked for ID is always a bit of a punch in the gut. And then you get people saying, you'll be grateful for it when you're older. And I'm like, no, but I want to look my age.
I definitely don't mind it now with my age, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right, who shall we see? We've got right here. We're gonna overanalyze this picture a lot, and I still haven't seen it. So you can tell me if this is there has been quotes, but there's a picture of 3 cars on track together.
I like it.
And they're running very close, And if we have Formula One cars running that closely together,
big fan,
racing like this in 2022, that's it. Like, surely, best season ever, confirmed.
Best season ever. Oof, that's a big old claim to make there, Tommy. Especially off the back of 2021, which I might argue is one of the best seasons ever.
Yeah. Here we go.
People are saying Latifi's just popped it. Nicholas Latifi's just popped it P3.
Goat Tiffy.
Goat Tiffy. Let's get some goats in the chat.
Great stuff.
Incredible.
Latifi, let's have a look.
And Andreas is back with the spamming. Mansell is in the wall. That would be quite an interesting turn of events if Nigel Mansell ended up driving into the wall.
That's quite interesting that, I wonder... That's weird. I'm going to message the race and ask why that... Because we don't tend to see...
I know what you're going to say.
Driver swap, yeah.
Yeah.
Why have Williams switched drivers during a session? I wonder if it's because they're going to soak the track later and Latifi wanted more running, so they've done half. They've almost split the session in half, like a dry session, and then they might do the same in the wet session, maybe. So they get exactly equal running. But yeah, because then surely the drivers are going to get... Oh, we just got a picture of the front wings, actually. But yeah, that picture on track that I've put up now.
Yeah.
Please.
It's a stunning pic.
Please.
Let's
have racing like that.
ASAP. Yeah, it does not stress me out, but we have seen in testing before where we've had some very close calls on track. In fact, was it last year? Was it Sainz and Raikkonen, maybe? That actually had a coming together during the final few moments of testing in Bahrain. Which...
Say that again, sorry. I was just reading the reply to the chat to our team on the ground are going to ask why Williams have swapped their drivers.
I was saying that we have seen a few close calls in testing in terms of coming togethers. And I was mentioning about Sainz and Raikkonen, I feel like it was last year in Bahrain when they had a little misunderstanding on the racetrack. Should we word it like that?
Yeah.
Getting lots of goats in the chat now. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Right, let's have a look at the front wings because we've got a nice comparison picture of all of them. And it has to be said, they're all very, very similar. For me, the only one that stands out, this is obviously end plates we're talking about. We've gone through, I'll try and find the picture again, of the front view, because obviously if you joined us the other day, we saw how different the front wings are and how amazing that we've got such a variety. But this end plate view,
nice,
much more. I guess the only one that looks really different there is Alpine, which
it does.
They love a bit of wavy action on their front wing because their front wing itself is very wavy as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It looks very different. I mean, it's moments like this where you realise why Alfa Romeo run a testing livery, because looking at it from a distance, unless I get super close up, you can't really make out the shape too much. Obviously, I'm sure there are ways you can draw around it and change the contrast or whatever it might be. But comparing it to somebody like the Aston or the Haas or whatever, you can see the differences in those two straight away.
Don't think anyone's going to be copying the Alfa Romeo, though. Sorry, guys. That's a bit savage, but it's
fired.
But it's true. They're not having a great test.
No,
I still would take one of the jackets, though, if you're listening, Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, we're gonna keep plugging that. Please, can we have some camo jackets, Alpha?
Right.
Let's have a look. Confirmation as well that there will be no Nikita Mazzapin in today's F1 press conference. But Günther Steiner is set to speak to the media in around an hour's time. So we will see what happens there. But like we were saying earlier, I really hope Gene Haas is around and he's not flown off in his private jet and avoided all responsibility, because this is very much a him problem.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, Haas could,
we'll
Haas could literally, put the C5s on, go 10 seconds a lot quicker than everyone else, and they still wouldn't get any questions about it. They're going to be, that's going to be a tough old presser for Gunther.
Yes. Big Pimpin in the chat has, I saw the name, I was like, I have to read this out. Said, could we have a short summary of day 3 until now, please? And a smiley face. Because
you can do that while I
so
go
politely,
get a
Big
coffee.
Pimpin. Oh, okay, great.
So you have to fill some time now. What picture shall I leave us on, actually, before we go?
Maybe the one of Alonso, because that's a big talking point.
Yeah, that's a good summary picture, because hang on. You'll see the dogs following me now when I leave the room. Right.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Perfect. Goodbye. Okay, so the big talking point when we got to the track this morning is the Haas livery has changed to a plain white design. Overnight, it was confirmed that Haas have removed Uralkali, I'm butchering that pronunciation, I'm sure, but they have removed them as a sponsor on the car. Whether that's a permanent thing or a temporary thing, I'm not too sure, but it is gone from the car. So we have no longer got that red, white and blue front wing. It's now all black, and the stripe pattern that goes along the car has changed. So that's been running out on track this morning in the plain white livery. Lots of people saying they actually prefer it, which if you're a livery designer for that, probably a bit of a hit to the gonads. People preferring just an all white car. But so that was the big talking point of this morning. Then Alonso had a little venture through some gravel. Didn't beach it or anything like that, just putting the Alpine through the gravel there. Verstappen went fastest first thing. He managed to go out on the C2 tyres and popped in a 1 minute 23.551. And so, put himself first. And then Fernando Alonso pulled a stunner of a lap to beat Verstappen's time and to go for a 1 minute 21.242. Now, in case you haven't been paying attention to, or you haven't been able to watch any of the preseason testing hype and talk throughout the last few days, Alpine appear to be having quite a bit of trouble with their DRS system. So the lap that Fernando set this morning didn't use DRS. Alpine haven't given a proper diagnosis as to what's going wrong with their DRS, whether it's an issue of it maybe sticking and it won't close when opened or something along those lines. But they're still not using the DRS. And then we had a red flag for what you can see on screen, or whichever side the picture box is to me here, for Fernando Alonso. So he had stopped in the final sector. And as I said, the session was red flagged because of this. So marshals quickly on the scene with fire extinguishers. And as far as we know, Alpine did give a statement as to what had happened, saying that the car lost pressure. So that is why he stopped out on track. But obviously, quite the morning for Fernando Alonso. He was in the gravel, and then he set the fastest lap time, and then he had to stop on track because his car went up in smoke. So that's what happened to Fernando Alonso this morning. Hasn't gone back out the track yet because the car is probably having a proper stripped back diagnosis to see what was going on there. But Alpine are investigating that. And then Verstappen took back the quickest lap time. He's currently sat at the top there now. And what else has been going on this morning? Not too much. We've had a suspected oil leak for the Haas now, which could be a big chunk of the final day lost if they can't get that changed. The timing as it stands, 2 hours into the morning, is Verstappen is fastest with a time he set on the C3 tyre. Russell in P2 there. Latifi, or Goat Tifi, as he is known, he's currently P3 in the Williams. He did set his time on a softer tyre than Verstappen and Russell, but still not a bad lap. Norris in his McLaren is in P4, Vettel P5, Alonso has moved down to P6, Leclerc P7, Gasly P8, Albon P9, Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu, is in P10, and Mazzapin is down in 11th. Something quite interesting as well that some of you might note is that we have times on the board for Latifi and Albon. That's not a thing we commonly see where, they switch up drivers midway through a session. It's normally a case of, Albon is in the car in the morning, Latifi is in the car in the afternoon, and that's how it works. But they have switched it around. So we have asked the guys on the ground in Barcelona what's going on there. So we'll have an answer for that. But yeah, this afternoon is, don't know if you could describe it as exciting. I'm quite excited to see how it's going to go down. But during the lunch break, which will be in 2 hours' time, Formula One are sending trucks out onto the track to basically make the track artificially wet. So they'll be dunking a load of water on the track and basically making it, simulating a wet race, so that the cars can trial out the new intermediates and the new full wets to see how they perform with these new cars. Obviously, their new tyres as well. Last year, we had 13-inch tyres. This year, we have 18-inch tyres. So quite a dramatic change. We've obviously seen 18-inch tyres in things like F2 before now, so they're not a completely new concept. And Yuki Tsunoda has spoken about having previous experience using the 18-inch tyres, so that might come in useful for him. Same for Schumacher. But for a lot of the drivers, this is quite a new concept. So yes, we'll see how they get on this afternoon. The race have updated us with current temperatures for reference. So the on-track temperature at the moment is about 14 degrees Celsius. The air temperature is 10.4 degrees Celsius, and it's currently overcast right now. So that's the situation. There was talk of rain possibly falling this afternoon, which would obviously in turn help with the wet weather testing. But yeah, that should all prove really interesting. Has anybody got any questions in the chat? And I'll try and answer some of them, or if we don't know the answers, we can ask what's going on the ground. Let's have a look. Oh, I can hear Tommy. People saying, what happened to Alonso? Carlos, you just missed my roundup, mate. Fernando had an issue with pressure in his car, stopped on track. Maybe looks a bit more dramatic with the pictures that we've got. Still stunning, incredible photos, and huge credit to XPB for being on the scene, getting these snaps to us.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Tommy. You have just missed my day 3 roundup, and people are still asking, what happened to Alonso?
Yeah,
it's going to be a commonly asked question.
Yeah, people. We will try and maybe do regular recaps for people that I know a lot of people are joining throughout the day.
Yeah, we'll try and do that. Watch 112 said, do we know what's wrong with the Haas? Yes, we believe it has not gone on track because of a suspected oil leak. So that is why we have not got Nikita Mazzapin on track at the moment. How late will the session stop? So the running, which has been the same for every day so far, is in Barcelona. They start at 9 and then they finish at 1 o'clock for lunch. And then they come back at 2 o'clock and then they go till 6 o'clock. But if you're in the UK, that was an 8 a.m. start. So Tommy and I have been here for 2 hours, 15 minutes so far this morning. And then we'll stop at 12 o'clock. No. Yes, 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Have an hour lunch break and try and get as much stuff out as possible. And then we'll return at 1 p.m. and we'll finish at 5 p.m. But be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell so you get an alert every time we go live so you won't miss a thing.
Absolutely.
Woohoo!
Interesting update from Franz Tost. Have you read that from Ed Straw?
I haven't read that out, no.
Perfect. Well, one thing that Franz Tost has said is that the only thing which is a big question mark for me is the temperature out there, because these are not conditions where we are racing. Therefore, I hope the car will work well in hotter conditions. And that is true. It's only 14 degrees. Track temperature 14. Air temperature is 10. So we don't get many races, of course. So it is chilly for, you're not going to go to many races. So maybe that is why. Another reason why maybe Bahrain is going to become a more preferred testing venue. Because I guess, while you kind of explained it yesterday, I remember when I was watching you guys on stream, but Barcelona is obviously great because it's fairly sunny. That you have all sorts of different tracks and stuff, but this is the best, not the best conditions to actually see what it's like from a race.
Yeah, I've also sent you on WhatsApp, Tommy.
No, I was wondering why you're sending me them.
Oh, okay, sorry. Benji wasn't sure if you're receiving them or not. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's all very interesting. Thank you to everybody as well who's been sending us tweets, showing us where you're watching or maybe listening from. It is amazing that there are so many of you tuning in and watching and listening to us ramble on about F1 testing. Obviously, there is no video broadcast being shown. We're literally having to rely off of the race at the track, who are updating us with lap times from the ground and seeing what's going on. And obviously XPB for delivering us some brilliant pictures. Sorry, I heard the word feature.
You saw Hannah's message about website, didn't you?
Yeah.
And we're like, I need to get this feature out.
My brain
I know how your brain works.
Can't multitask. But yeah, they're doing a wicked job, and I really hope you guys are enjoying it.
Yep. It's I've got another picture actually of the cars on track running closely. 3 cars running closely together. Again, it's a similar picture to the one we saw on the main straight. This is the final corner. And while, of course, a lot of the press conference says, I do hope we get to hear from a driver soon about following another car, because that for me is quite a big talking point. I don't know how much we've seen of that yet. But I'm really curious to know. I mean, it's still not going to be anywhere near the same that it is in a race condition, but maybe just their early thoughts of what they think, because we want these cars to follow well. That's what they've been designed for. That's why we've had this new regulation change. Here we are. We've got the Alfa, the Mercedes, and the Williams on track. Just from my as a couch journalist, armchair journalist from
couch journalist.
Yeah, from here. That's probably the closest I've ever seen 2 Formula One cars come out of the awful final Barcelona chicane. So maybe it is working. Who knows? But it's just testing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice pick. Yeah, I've just seen that come up on stream now.
So yeah, hopefully they're better racing. But then, I mean, that Barcelona chicane, we don't need to start ranting about that.
No. Tommy, I'm just going to refill my water. I'll be a little while. Well, not a little while.
You do that.
Yeah.
It's time for...
guitar solo.
No, it's time to another Benji meme.
Oh, wait. No, maybe I want to stay and watch this. But yeah, I'll
let me
check
just
it out when I come
double check.
back.
Let me just double check he made it.
Okay. I'll stay until you've double checked, and then I'll...
just before I announce it on stream, but...
Yeah.
This is I'm calling it now. This is a good one.
People are also saying they can hear your WhatsApp sounds, just so you know, Tommy, as a heads up.
Excellent. I will move my WhatsApp onto another computer then. Thank you for the heads up.
Thanks,
I cannot
chat,
hear
for letting
that.
us know. No.
Right. Time for another Benji meme. Rate this one out of 10. I think it's a good one. We've got the picture of Fernando Alonso earlier, and they're in with the Ferrari crew. But we've seen this meme a lot with the McDonald's Ferrari guys. But there's Fernando getting his Mackie D's. other fast food restaurants are available. What are we saying? Give us a out of 10. 1,000 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Benji, you've redeemed yourself. Where people are loving this one. It's very good. Yeah, Ferrari merchant overalls. Not a huge fan of. I don't hate them, but they've definitely brought a lot of memes. The one McPlan, please. Yeah, let's have a caption competition while we've got this one on screen. For the serious updates, there's not much track action going on, but we will obviously head back to that, and Katie's just done her rundown, so GP2 food. I'm loving it. WTF1 should become the official F1 pre-season test commentators at this rate. Thank you very much. We do our best. Post this on Twitter. I will do that. Yep, well done, Benji. You've
returned
yourself.
And to seen to the Benji meme. Oh my goodness, is that the Ferrari boys?
Yeah, that really tops it.
Oh, Benji, that's brilliant.
That's a good one. Big fan of that.
McPlan meal for me. That's so good. Sorry if I'm reading out people's if they've already said this and I've just come back, but yeah, big fan.
Well
big box
done.
of nuggets, please. Yeah, I had a McDonald's last night.
I had one on Wednesday night actually because on an 8-hour stream I could not be bothered to cook.
No, I was home on my own and I thought, no, I'm not cooking today. I'm absolutely knackered. So I got a Big Mac and chips and a McFlurry. It's making me hungry. But
I'll have a McSineswich and a chocolate Leclerc, please.
Right, get out the stream, whoever said that.
There's some punnage there.
That is incredible.
Right, we're back to some
all
F1
the time
car.
You have to have the nuggets. Oh, this is so good, guys. You're so quick. Amazing work. Yeah, also, I'd just like to say I had a quick check of my phone in that little break. Thank you so much to everybody that's gone and found me on social media. I've had such an increase in followers and it's so sweet. Thank you so much.
I've never had so many like DMs and stuff. I think it's like people like saying like, look at this. Hoping it gets read out on stream and stuff. But yeah, really amazing support on these streams. Really do appreciate it.
We do, very much so. Let's see what the latest updates are from on the ground in Barcelona. Oh my goodness, Russell has gone fastest on a set of C4s. So that is one of the softer sets of tyres. A first attempt on the C4 tyre for Russell, who goes 1.5 tenths faster than Verstappen to take the top spot with a 1 minute 19.608. The Mercedes driver is closing in on 50 laps for the morning too. Vettel has also improved. He is third now on a 1 minute 20.865 on the C3 compound. So yeah, very interesting stuff. I'm going to be honest, takes me a little moment. When I saw Russell goes fastest, I had a proper brain fart and was like, Russell's gone faster than Williams.
It's going to take some getting used to, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. But well done to George Russell, who, yeah. Do you think he's going to really be able to take it to Hamilton this year, Tommy? Or do you think he's going to play it cool, let himself get settled in, and then go ham, no pun intended, next year?
I personally think, it's all just guesswork, really. But I think he will. I think we'll see him probably out-qualify Hamilton every now and then. But for me, in the races, I think Hamilton will be better. So, yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Russell's not gonna rock up and just be used like a doormat.
No,
he's got to really prove himself.
Well, according to Toto Wolff, they've never had a number 1 and number 2 driver. So
yeah, right. Tell that to everyone else. But yeah, I think I'm sure we're going to get a couple of maybe 2-3 wins maybe from Russell this year. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to know. I was thinking about that earlier, actually, in the chat.
Should we make a poll? We love a poll.
Yeah. Let's do a poll.
How many wins is George Russell going to get this year?
How many wins? I was going to say how long will it take him to get a win, but let's go how many. I prefer that.
Wins?
How many wins?
1, 2, or
will
3
Russell
plus, maybe.
get in 2022? Are you so confident we're not getting a 0 option? Interesting.
Oh no. Okay, yeah. Let's get a 0 option as well.
0, 1 to
British bias is
1
showing.
to 2, 3 to 5, 5 plus. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah? 0, 1 to 2, 3 to 5, and 5 plus.
Yeah. People in the chat are putting some big numbers in here. I'm not going to lie to you.
24. We're not going to 24 races.
Well, yeah, it would be quite impressive.
What's your prediction? How many wins do you reckon Russell will get?
1 to 2.
Interesting.
I've voted. What do you think, Tommy?
I think he will get 4.
4 wins.
If not 5, depending on how dominant Mercedes are.
Yeah, that's true.
Because according to my prediction from the podcast, if George Russell gets 4 wins, that means Hamilton's getting 19 other wins. Because, but we shall see. Hopefully Ferrari and other teams are up there because we want to see it.
We do. I want another McLaren win. I know we've only just had one, and it took us a long time to get one, but I want another McLaren win. Another Danny Rick win, please.
All the Lando fans going, oh, he's had his win.
He's had his chance.
Yeah, I really want to see a Carlos Sainz win this year.
Yeah, that's very true. He's come so close on a few occasions.
I want this win. I want this win. It was his famous phrase. 26
wins, sprints included.
Wow,
that is ambitious. I would, that's going to have some strong odds against it. So put down a quid on that. The first 50 laps of the day goes to George Russell. So he has
most laps and fastest. Mercedes walkover incoming.
Mercedes winning the championship confirmed. Sainz win is incoming, Nova says in the chat. Yes, we are manifesting it, aren't we, chat? We're manifesting a Carlos Sainz win.
I really hope so. I think Carlos is, for me... Oh, is this controversial? No, it's not. I'm going to say it. Is the best driver in Formula 1 right now to not have a victory. Sorry, Carlos. Lando and George. But now there's some British bias for you.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Who does everyone else think? But for me, George Russell needs to show that he's the Don on a Sunday, which at the end of the day he's been driving a Williams, so not easy. I've got a funny picture to share. So,
yes, is this a caption competition?
No, it's actually just a funny picture of Frank, but I thought I'd share it on the stream. So everyone that wants to see Frank,
Instagram handle in there as well.
Yeah. So this is just to move away from Formula 1 because I know how much you love Frank. While I've got 2 dogs with me today, and obviously I'm trying to do my best to not be distracted on stream, but this is the chaos that's going on underneath me right now. There's Frank and my father-in-law's dog Baxter that are just they're chilling, causing chaos underneath the desk here. And that's the view right now that, that I've got of Frank and Baxter trying to distract me from Formula One. So there we go. That's Frank being hilarious like he does.
What a legend.
What a legend. I've got an update.
So,
let me get the... I'll change the picture of Frank
Pictures
to a
of
more serious house photo for
No,
this
I
one.
think we should just keep that up for the whole day. That's what people have tuned in for, right?
Let's
People
go. I know a lot
want
of
the
people are
Frank
tuning in and want to see the Haas. So let's put up the comparison again between the Haas that's running on track right now. I'm sure you know by now they're running without the Russian flag livery.
They are indeed.
Right, go on. Hit us with the update.
Okie dokie. So Scott Mitchell, our expert on the ground, has been doing some more digging for us on the situation around Haas and Uralkali. Uralkali. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. So the Uralkali deal was important to the team's survival as it navigated the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic. But Haas is believed to be in a solid place, and though the money from Uralkali is a significant part of its budget, it is still only a minority backer. Any funding issues with Uralkali would raise questions about Nikita Mazzapin's future with the team, but he also faces his own logistical concerns.
Interesting.
So, it is interesting. Because yes, Uralkali was a big deal for Haas, and now that has all been removed from the garages. It's been removed from the cars, as you said. So Uralkali. There've been so many different pronunciations. I watched Ted's Notebook yesterday, and he pronounced it in a way that I
imagine it's
never heard before.
it's Uralkali if it's like
Uralkali,
Eastern European.
That's true, yeah. I mean, I am just one. I butcher every pronunciation I ever make. I struggle with surnames or place names. It's not my forte.
Someone just said, put a comparison between Frank and the Haas. That's what people want to see.
Amazing. Oh, thank you, chat. Uralkali.
Surely it's Uralkali by the look of the chat.
Thank you, chat, for helping me with that. You guys are awesome. Skyman says, one thing left, remove Katie. Sorry, mate, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here all day, so bye. Who else have we got in the chat that's saying
plenty of nice comments, Katie? There
are lots of lovely comments. I know. I just like picking out
ones.
the bad ones and making them feel bad.
Because they think we don't read them, yeah. Right.
Somebody said, Byron says, please say Worcestershire sauce. I can say that one.
Worcester sauce, that classic video.
Worcester sauce.
I can say it, and then, right, here's it's time for another caption competition.
Oh, I love them. Okay, go.
Right, let's get this picture there.
Minestrone saying, bring back rich energy. Ugh. No, thank you.
Yeah. There we go. Caption competition time. While we're waiting for some more on-track updates, Max with his race engineer. I believe it's his race engineer. Yes, it is. Gian Piero. Actually, while people are bringing in the captions, there was a very interesting interview that I watched on Ziggo with my limited Dutch knowledge, but I had subtitles on, so I could thankfully hear what was going on. But Max said that I don't know if this was just caught up in the emotion of the World Championship win, but he said that when this guy in the picture with him, Gianpiero Lambiase, again butchered the pronunciation. I'm sorry. Leaves Red Bull or just calls it a day in Formula One, he will too, which
Wow,
quite a statement to make, and I know a lot of people picked up on the fact that he also said, I want to stay with Red Bull my whole career. But I'm sure, like, a lot of people thought Sebastian Vettel would as well, and then things don't always go the way.
No. Let's see. We've got a few suggestions for the for the caption. Playing Freak said, "So this is how you perform a proper T-bone." Lots of people saying, "Get in there, Max." Lucy, Lewis is faster than you. Oh gosh. Let's see.
I'm going to read this one out. Katie needs to stay. Love heart, love heart, love heart. There you go.
Thank you. I have seen a big influx in
plenty of nice comments.
Lovely messages. So thank you, everyone. You are the best ever.
Perfect Italian pronunciation. Thank you. So good.
Grazie. Look at me beatbox, Max. Very long said.
Max, you've been drafted. This is how you cut the chicken. I imagine chicken. This is how you cut the chicken.
Yeah, it's an Alonso reference. You have the first chicken and then the second chicken. That's an iconic video. Amazing. Right. Well, let's see who's out on track at the moment. So Verstappen has just improved, though only by 0.009 of a second to 1 minute 19.756, which is still a little bit off what Norris managed on Wednesday and Leclerc managed yesterday. But that was set on C3 tyres. And at the moment, it's just the top three of Russell, Verstappen and Leclerc out on track right at the moment. Jack Cousins as well has given us an update about the Williams situation, because you might notice, I don't know if you can see it on the timing screen because I think it's just a little bit cut out, but there is Latifi and Albon have been out on track this morning, which is quite unusual because normally, oh, that's 1 second.
Yeah, normally you don't swap your drivers halfway through a session.
No. Oh, there is a red flag. Okay. Lots of people in the chat saying red flag for Gasly. Don't know, don't have any more information on that at the moment, but there is a red flag for Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly. I don't think anybody can say that now without thinking of Danny Rick.
Yeah.
He is single-handedly making the way we pronounce driver names just into his way. We've got Nico Hülkenberg. One of my favorites.
Are we going to just do our poor pronunciation? Gasly in the middle sector, red flag. We'll find out why. Not wait to see what that's for. Like I've said many times, for anyone that's maybe new to testing or not really tuned in much before, red flag obviously is not quite as dramatic, should we say, as we see in Formula One races, because it's a test session. They don't mind interrupting it for whatever reason, and it's just safer just to throw the red flag out and just neutralize the whole track, because they don't have a race or anything to worry about, or a session. So even someone just grounding to a halt, which we might see a safety car in a race or something, it's just they can just throw a red flag. So red flag doesn't necessarily mean that there's been some like huge crazy incident. No. Just for those that maybe get more concerned when they see the word red flag as a bit of a trigger, but I imagine Gasly has just stopped in sector 2, so we'll find out the reason for that soon.
I've just sent a tweet out as well, Tommy, on the WTF1 account.
Well, brilliant. While we are waiting for some Gasly news, I am going to try and play our WTF1 Clubhouse video.
Ooh, okay.
So for anyone...
Ready for the stream to crash.
Yeah. So hopefully this will work. But we mentioned it in the last stream that for anyone going to Silverstone this year, or wants to go to Silverstone, you can camp with us at Silverstone. We put on an amazing event. Last year was insane. Like, I absolutely loved it. It was so cool to have like so many WTF1 fans and F1 fans come and stay on the campsite with us, and we had a big tent and a nice party and stuff. Simulators, we did F1 pub quizzes, which as an F1 nerd you've got to love. So I'm just going to play this video so you can have a look at it. There we go. Hopefully that worked. Hopefully you could hear that, because I can't tell if you can.
I can certainly see it. It's come up on stream now.
Fantastic. So yeah, that was the WTF1 Clubhouse. I've got a link in the description. It's wtf1.com/clubhouse, and you can check that out. Really looking forward to that this year.
Yeah.
And also, I should probably say as well, the early bird, there's an early bird offer at the moment, and that's ending soon, so I should probably just make you aware of that, just in case you're umming and ahhing about it, and then I don't want you guys to be disappointed when the early bird offer ends.
No. And it was so much fun last year. Like, I hadn't been able to go to the British Grand Prix for a long time because of COVID and work commitments and stuff, but yeah, spending the British Grand Prix, it was stunning weather. Like, beautiful. I mean, it was so bad that on the first day I wore shorts and I burnt the back of my legs so bad.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my goodness, they were so sunburnt. But that's my own fault for not wearing sun cream. But yeah, it was wicked. And like hanging out with you guys, just having a beer in the evening, chatting about what happened on track, or, you know, how people got into Formula One or their favorite drivers. And we had great music and great food, and like you say, doing pub quizzes, and there was a game of cornhole, and we had Jenga as well, and everyone was just vibing, chilling out, and it was like the best. Great. I mean, I'm maybe slightly biased because it was a WTF1 Clubhouse, but it was hand on heart, genuinely the best experience I've had in an F1 race so far. So I'm awesome. Really looking forward to this year. So yeah. And Tommy is going to be performing a guitar solo at the Clubhouse. He's going to do an acoustic performance. We're going to get campfire around.
I'm going to have to take this guitar off the wall just to avoid all the comments.
Yeah. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Right. So while we've got a red flag. Oh, go on. You go.
I was just going to mention, because we were talking about it before the red flag happened, about Williams, because yes, they have switched their drivers over during a session, which is not something we see too often. So Ed, or maybe Scott Mitchell, has gone down, somebody from the race has gone down and asked Williams. The initial suggestion on the Williams swap is that it might be easier to do a seat swap if there was a car problem, although Albon had been out for less than half an hour before Latifi. Could also be to even out any discrepancy in laps, or possibly they're doing that now to get equal dry running before the track is made wet later, which, yeah, that is why the Williams have swapped around. Williams saying it was part of the run plan. But yes. That's the situation.
L plan, W plan.
Oh, that Williams that you've got on the stream at the moment, it does look amazing, doesn't it? The back of it didn't pick it up at all on the video that they did.
The renders weren't great, and I think it's such a low light room and the renders, but on track the blue it really pops. It's very nice.
It's gorgeous.
Right, let us know
but most of these cars are pretty sexy.
Yeah, so. there's not yeah, someone just the chat just said the Williams is so sexy. There's not really any cars out on track at the moment.
No, because it's red flag. So
yeah, so let's see what we can do. We've got some pictures. Let us know who you want to see.
Yeah, we haven't got an update from AlphaTauri yet as to why Pierre Gasly has stopped. The race have said that the AlphaTauri driver, Frank, stop barking, please. The AlphaTauri driver has been transported back to the team garage in one of the circuit cars. But yeah, we don't have an answer yet as to why, but I assume it could maybe be a gearbox issue. We saw an issue for Sergio Perez having a similar problem yesterday. Might be related, or it could be absolutely anything. So I won't speculate too much because we will wait for an official diagnosis from the AlphaTauri guys.
And
Elliot
our team
saying,
on the ground.
Yeah, our team on the ground. Elliot saying in the chat, Katie, will you come to the Australian Grand Prix?
I wish.
I would love to. Honestly, the Australian Grand Prix, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is one of my favourite races. I'd
love to go to that one. My parents went in, I want to say 2018, I think it was.
Oh,
and,
nice.
They said it was really good, like proper party atmosphere and stuff. I know my dad was, bless him, was in fact both of them were. They were wearing WTF1 t-shirts. And
I love it.
my dad was like, my dad just is such a chatterbox. He loves like speaking to people and stuff. And he was obviously like, there was some followers there that knew of WTF1. This was a few years ago now, before we've kind of got even bigger, but we had started the YouTube channel and stuff. And they were like, oh, I really like WTF1. And then, of course, my dad was like, it's my son that started it and stuff.
That is
and,
so wholesome.
Yeah, they sent me lots of pictures of them, like, with, like, WTF1 fans, like, at the Australian Grand Prix. And they're like, these guys love WTF1 and stuff.
Sweet.
It's really sweet.
Oh, that is so cute.
So, yeah, I'd love to go to Australia because it just sounds like a proper party
awesome
first race atmosphere, although it isn't the first race anymore, but it certainly used to be.
Yeah, in fact, we've got people from Australia. Harrison Dowd in the chat is watching. Hello from Australia. So, hello, good day. Is that a thing people say?
Good day.
Oh, good day.
They do in the stereotype
yes.
But no, I'm sure they do. It's like...
Yeah. Also, Tommy, I'm not going to lie, I'm fangirling a bit because I think Matt Gallagher might be in the chat. I'm a big fan.
That's so funny because I was about to share a picture of the Ferrari, and it's I reckon he's got a sixth sense, and he knew that a Ferrari picture was about to appear. It is an absolutely stunning picture of the Ferrari as well.
So many Australians are in the chat. Hello, Erin. Hello, Jacob. Hello, Luke. Oh, my goodness.
In fact, because I'm a nerd.
Many Australians. David. Gus from New Zealand. Shout out to New Zealand as well. Oh, my goodness. There's so many of you here.
Because I'm a travel nerd and I just love hearing about different parts of the world. Let us know in the chat where you're from, because I always love to see that people from all over the place.
180 Kurt said, hi guys, I'm in Perth, Australia though. Haha. Well, that is where Danny Rick is from. So not a bad place to be. Gosh, the Australians have taken over the chat, guys. This is amazing. So if you're just tuning in, we are on a red flag for Pierre Gasly, who has stopped on track. Haven't got a diagnosis yet as to why he stopped. But that's the situation, which is why we're currently having a little bit of waffle, wanting to know where you're from. Matt WTF1 says he's from England. That is a great insight. Thank you very much, Matt. Yeah. Oh my goodness. They're going so fast. Netherlands, India, Hungary, Sweden, Germany, Malta, Los Angeles, South Africa, Ireland, Latvia, Bulgaria, Turkey, Melbourne, Serbia, Pakistan, Holland, loads of Perth people, Philippines, Arizona in the United States, Nevada in the United States. Gosh, that must be early for you guys. Gloucester in England, Mexico, Brazil, Toronto. I have family in Toronto. I love Toronto.
I love Toronto.
Ohio,
Bulgaria. Love Bulgaria.
Yeah,
been to Bulgaria.
Wow. Transylvania, India, Denmark. Iceland.
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Bring back the Malaysian Grand Prix, please.
Oh, I know. I really want
Water circuit.
Romania. Gosh, this is amazing. Kenya.
Leeds. Leeds.
Leeds. Wow. Portugal, Paris, North Korea.
Sorry, I just said Frank. Love that.
Oh. Amazing. Sri Lanka, Hong Kong. Incredible, guys.
Mars. Someone from Mars. Wow.
Wow. Congrats. Didn't know they got good Wi-Fi over there. Amazing stuff. Wow. There are so many of you. This is insane.
South
It's going
Korea.
too fast for me to see.
It just makes me sad that I can't travel anymore.
Yeah. Oh, Frank's getting upset as well.
It's
Or it could be
Baxter, actually.
Oh, Baxter, come on. You need to know the rules. You can't make all these noises on a watch long. So update from the race. The Gasly incident, which is why we've currently got a red flag, was at turn 5, which is in the second sector. And at the moment, the car is just being removed from the recovery truck.
The picture I'm seeing, actually, let me put that on screen. Is that from someone on Twitter? Because he's stopped on track. This picture very much looked like he's stopped in the wall. So it looks like he is in the gravel. So shout out to
maybe that is why
David Moreno on Twitter for this image that's in the live chat. But yeah, the recovery truck is very much.
It's not in the middle of the circuit, is it?
Yeah. So head to get this photo up. That's from the race live chat from David Moreno on Twitter. But yeah, that's not on track. That is very much off track.
No.
So that's minimum bin in the gravel, probably bin in the wall.
Oh dear. Chris Medland has tweeted, this is taking a while to clear because Gasly went off at turn 5 and has damaged the car. Big yikes, if that is true.
Yeah, so I guess you could say that's the first incident where someone's actually gone off and caused the red flag themselves.
Uh-oh.
As opposed to a mechanical, I should say.
Yeah, it could be. That's true. I can't believe we didn't get a single red flag on day 1. That seems crazy. Seeing as we've had 2 yesterday, 2 today already, and it's not even lunch yet.
All the talk as well of how the session would be a nightmare and all the cars would break down. It was only really Alpha and Haas that had problems. So
yeah, because that was a big speculation as to why the shakedown, as they're calling it, wasn't shown, is because they were worried that some of the cars would get 3 foot out the pit lane and then clonk to a halt. But we haven't really seen much of that at all. It's been fairly smooth sailing for everyone, which I must admit I'm slightly surprised by as well.
Slightly surprised, but I didn't buy the whole it's going to be like 2014, because 2014 was very, very, very complicated engine change. That's changed. It's very different to new era. Still they're kind of up to speed now. Well, they should all be with the new hybrid era, because it's been in for a very long time. But that was what was causing all the unreliability. You chat away. I need to let the whingy dogs out.
The whingy dogs, no problem. I can reply to people in the chat. But yes, lots of people tagging me in pictures of Gasly in what appears to be very close to the wall, a little bit too close to the wall. So yes, it could well be that the AlphaTauri of Gasly does have damage. Of course, we don't know how that damage is being sustained. Maybe it was driver error, maybe it was a mechanical error. Once we find out more, of course, we'll let you know. But for the moment, we still are under red flag. Lots of people asking if we're still seeing the cars bounce up and down. Obviously, that was a huge storyline from especially yesterday, once F1 released some footage of the car porpoising, as it is known, porpoising, once again butchering pronunciations as per. but yeah, that I'm not sure if it's been too much of a big issue today, but I assume it's not going to be something that's fixed overnight. A lot of the drivers and team principals have been saying that the issue is something that they didn't really predict it would be this bad, which is quite surprising, because you know how F1 teams like to predict everything that they possibly can. They have run all these simulations, but no, apparently they weren't expecting it to be so bad. So we'll see how that improves. I think it is probably worse for some than others. George Russell's saying some interesting things about how it could actually be a safety concern, which I mean, I imagine if you're constantly going like up and down in your car and it's moving up and down side to side like a roller coaster, as Lando Norris would say, that's probably not going to be too pleasant to drive. So we'll see how that improves. Hopefully by the time we get to Bahrain, the teams will have been able to find a solution for that, because it's also causing some damage to the floor of the cars we've seen. So it's not a minor issue. It's quite a big problem for the guys out on track. AlphaTauri have finally tweeted, given us an update. They've said, unfortunately, that red flag wasn't us. Pierre Gasly has been off the track in the middle sector. He is okay and back in the garage. So that's the latest update from AlphaTauri. Let's see. Black Hawk saying, I am shocked that the teams didn't pick this up in Silverstone shakedowns. But then again, they did do wet weather running mostly, so might not have got the speeds required. It is a very good point. Archie Maxwell saying, why did Williams swap drivers this morning?
Hello.
Well, hello, you're back again. So the guys at the race went down to ask what was going on, and basically it sounds like it's just a case of either getting the drivers to equal running, maybe giving them both a chance to get some dry running in before we have the wet weather test this afternoon. But yeah, that's the deal with the Williams guys.
So the George Russell poll has finished.
Yes, tell me.
The results published and then disappeared very quickly because the chat is very right, dude. I'm going to change it to something that we spoke about earlier while we're in a red flag, and we'll update you with some Gasly pictures and things if we get them. But which driver will get their first win first?
Oh, I like it.
We'll go Russell, Sainz, because I mean, if the Ferrari hype train is on, that be in good shape. Norris, or I guess someone else, just in case, when Yuki Tsunoda wins the first race. Right.
Nice.
Which driver will get their first win first? Oh, there we go. Someone kindly written it in the chat that I can't see. So the results for Russell was 39% of people thought he'd get 3 to 5 wins, me included. 38% 1 to 2. 13% thought he'd get 5 or more, and only 9% thinks he's not going to win. Oh, this is a great poll for me, because I think, maybe, we don't know if Russell's going to have the edge to beat Hamilton, whereas if Ferrari are a lot better, I don't think it's quite like last year. If Russell was in a Mercedes, you'd have gone, well, it's easily going to be Russell. But AlphaTauri have tweeted just that he's been off. Nothing.
Yeah, we read that one out while you were letting the dogs out.
Excellent stuff. I will keep an eye on any new images in case the guys at XPB are at that corner, and I'm sure.
Good plan. Yeah, I'm just reading through. Hannah is she's written a piece about wet weather testing, so I'm just going to check through that and get that published. If you're okay to fill for a little bit while I get that out and on socials. Okay,
there's a picture of Mr. Russell in his car with his new helmet design. And one thing I will say, I'll get the picture up on the screen, and curious to know what people think, is that George Russell has changed his helmet design this year.
He has.
Because he thought it would be... He didn't want to be sort of like... He didn't want all the comparisons with Schumacher and everyone going, oh, it looks like Schumacher with a red helmet. Do we like the new look? Or do we think... I personally don't think he should have changed it just because of Schumacher. I mean, I personally associate Schumacher a lot more in a Ferrari than Mercedes, but that's probably the era I grew up in. And also, like, where do you draw the line with, is no one allowed to have a yellow helmet anymore because of Senna, or purple helmet because of Hamilton? I don't know. Maybe like you say, it's because it was a lot of red on the front, all the same logos. It did look very Schumacher.
It did,
and
yeah.
It does look quite cool, but I'm a bit of a... I don't like people matching their helmets to the cars. I like the people that go bold and try and do something completely different, personally. But what do you guys think in the chat? Are we a fan of... Looks like the design of Max's helmet. Fire. Looks like Darth Maul. It does look very Sith, Star Wars Sith, doesn't it? With the black and red. What happened to Pierre? Pierre went off. Oh, you talk about what happened to Pierre.
Okay, I can cover for a bit. Yeah, which helmet designs are you enjoying at the moment this year? Because there are some. We talked yesterday about it on the stream. Danny Rick is normally somebody who delivers really cool helmet designs. I love the fact that he goes for something really different. However, the one this year, going to be honest, I'm not vibing with it. I love the color of the orange, the like coral bright orange that he's got, and some of the blue looks really nice, or the purple even. But I think it's just the green is throwing me off. It just reminds me of like Shrek or something. So it's not really my fave. Sonoda has got a really cool helmet design. I agree. Lots of people are saying Lando as well. Hello. Just talking about favorite helmet designs. Sebastian Vettel. Oh yeah, you can't ignore that one. Yeah,
clear.
It's just so nice and simple.
And then it's Mick. Mick's is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Mick's helmet design is really cool, and he gets extra points for doing a photo shoot with a very cute dog. So
extra points for photo shoot with a dog.
Your camera's not showing, mate. By the way. Oh no, maybe it's just on my stream actually, because it's looking fine on the stream. I thought your camera had gone, but I think it's just my laptop. Freaking out.
The Mick gets extra points as well for not matching his helmet to his car. I love a driver, like if you think of like legendary helmets, you don't think of like, you think of like Senna in that McLaren where the yellow is just so clashing and like completely different. I love that. I've got a picture of Mick's here actually. And then for people that have just joined, because I saw someone saying they want to see the Haas again, because they have their new look car, and we'll fly through some older pictures maybe. But yeah, Mick's helmet for me is very, very cool. There's Mick, stands out a lot, and he's actually he's got rid of the German flag on the side of his new helmet, which I think fair play for him, trying to create his own identity rather than sort of a tribute, like enough of a tribute to Michael, and he had that awesome retro one, didn't he? But right, let's fly while we're in a red flag and we're still waiting for pictures of Gasly, if we have any. Let's fly through all the pictures that we've got so far. So, Haas. There is the Haas. Sure you don't need me to tell you again, but running their plain white livery. all the Uralkali. I need to keep saying Uralkali. Logo's gone.
We've got green light racing back again, by the way. It started at 3 minutes ago. So the AlphaTauri is back in the garage, reunited with the team. In the last few minutes as well, we've had confirmation of 2 Red Bull Junior FP1 debuts, which is very exciting.
Oh,
so if you like junior drivers and you want to see more of them this year, then 2022 is going to be a great year for you in F1 because each car has to have at least one rookie in it at some point in the season. So like I said on the stream yesterday, at some point, somebody's going to be taking Max Verstappen's place in FP1. Somebody's going to be taking Hamilton's place in FP1. Somebody's going to be taking Leclerc's place or whatever it might be. But AlphaTauri team principal Franz Tost has confirmed that Liam Lawson is getting an FP1 outing in the AlphaTauri, while Yuri Vips will get to drive the main Red Bull team's car. Lawson has had a pretty impressive 2021 across F2 and DTM. He was, of course, teammates with Alex Albon in DTM there, while Vips has had a long... Vips has long theoretically been Red Bull's next in line on its F1 conveyor belt, the race say, although faces some seriously stern opposition now. What do you think?
Who was next in line, sorry? Did they say?
They're saying Yuri Vips has been Red Bull's next in line on its F1 conveyor belt.
Interesting, yeah, because a lot of people tipped Lawson after how he had an amazing start, didn't he, in F2? Got a red flag again, have we?
Another one. Like DJ Khaled, another one. Although it's not clear at the moment who has stopped, if anyone has stopped. It could just be a timing issue.
Keep you updated as soon as we know. But yeah, that's interesting that, we're going to get to see some young drivers in the top cars. It's not, I said it on a podcast, if you listen to our podcast, but it's not just going to be the Williams or whoever just running a new driver. We're going to get to see people in the top teams, people in the Ferrari, people in the Mercedes and the Red Bull. It's going to be exciting to see what they can do, because they will, like you say, they will take Max's car, Lewis's car, Charles's car, like in FP1 sessions, and they will be put aside, put up against, and see how they do. Even though you can't look too much into FP1 times, but it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, very much so. Also, something that's going on at the moment is Günther Steiner.
Sorry, Guan Yu Zhou is off in the final sector. Off.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll see if we can get some updates and images from that. But Günther Steiner is currently having a virtual media session. So he has started the media session. So the race are currently in that now, giving us updates. He started off the media session by apologizing for bailing out of yesterday's press conference. He said that there were urgent issues that had come up and deep meetings that I could not miss.
I mean, that's putting it mildly.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess there is that side of it. It's not, it's not however much it does look like he's obviously bailing on tough questions. I can't imagine the stress he was under yesterday with everything going on. So, lots going on at Haas.
Yeah, so I don't know if they've managed to get this issue fixed that they had this morning, which I believe, what was the issue with Haas this morning? Was it an oil leak or something?
Yeah, oil leak.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be many questions about the oil leak, but there we are.
No, that's probably the least of their problems today.
So Guan Yu Zhou, according to the race hub, live timing, Guan Yu Zhou had just posted his personal best in Sector 2 and then stopped in Sector 3, the poor guy.
Oh, Guan Yu Zhou. What a drama. Well, we've now got a record of 3 red flags.
It's because you jinxed it and said you couldn't believe there was no red flags.
My laptop literally sounds like it's about to explode.
While you're doing
What
that,
happens
if
when you have a laptop.
anyone needs
Sorry, guys.
if anyone needs a run through of maybe the laps and the times, should we go through that just in case people can't see it either small on their screen or just need a bit of a rundown where we've got a red flag and waiting to update you on Joe. Russell in first. He's done a 1:19.608, so just a small way off the best time that we've seen from Lando. C4 tyre, 57 laps, so good running for Mercedes. They have done the most laps. Max Verstappen in second. He's done a 1:19.756. He's on the C3 though, and done 48 laps. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari, 1 minute 20.092. 34 laps on the C3 tyre. Vettel is in fourth for Aston Martin, 1 minute 20.419. They've done 37 laps. Latifi has only done 5 laps and he's still in P5. Goat Tifi.
Goat Tifi.
He's done a 1 minute 20.699. C4 tyre. Norris, 1 minute 20.827 on the C3. He's done 40 laps. Fernando Alonso, let's get that picture up of Fernando Alonso. Very, maybe more dramatic from a picture than it seemed. But what a picture that is from our lovely people from XPB taking the photos. Amazing shot. But yeah, Alonso was at the top of the timing sheets before his GP2 engine went kaboom. Although it wasn't, it was just a loss of pressure, I think, and a lot of that is just the fire extinguishers going off, so it looks maybe a little more dramatic than it is. But he is 7th. He only did 12 laps, 1:21.242. Guan Yu Zhou has done a 1:21.939. He's done 39 laps, but he's now stopped on track. Gasly's 9th, 1:22.469. He's done 40 laps, but he's hit the wall and is back in the pits. Albon for Williams, 1:22.652, 21 laps. And then Mazzapin has done just 9 laps at a 1:26.229. There we go.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that roundup, Tommy. Very interesting. I'm just waiting to see if we've got any updates from this Haas virtual press conference.
Scott Mitchell's just put one in the race hub if you want to read that out.
Sure, no problem. So asked if Haas has a contingency plan in place, given the Russia-Ukraine situation has been developing over a period of time. Günther Steiner said, "We haven't been planning for this. We monitored the situation. We're not sat there ignorantly waiting, but I have never experienced something like this, so I didn't know how it would go down."
I mean, to be fair to them, I know that the sponsor they've got is problematic, but I said that you can't really say that they would have assumed that this war would go on.
No,
can't really, you can't really plan for that.
No, I do feel a bit bad for Günther Steiner having to answer all these questions of the media, while Gene Haas is probably on a sun lounger somewhere, enjoying getting a nice tan.
Can you show the Haas livery? There we go. There we go. Haas again, because it's not done many laps today.
So Guan Yu Zhou is back in the garage now. Whether his car is back is another matter. But lots of people are suggesting that Guan Yu Zhou has put it in the gravel. But I'm just having a look to see what I can find on social media for you all.
God, if that's 2 people that have put it in the gravel, they've not even soaked the track yet.
No, I know. This is very true. Yes, he has. He has beached it in the gravel. So at least he's not gone into the wall from the looks of it. He's just parked it up and he'll just have to wait for the recovery track to come out. So disappointing for Guan Yu Zhou, as the race pointed out, because he just posted a personal best in the second sector. But obviously he was giving it the beans too much and got maybe a bit too cocky and he spun it. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see if it was driver error, if it was mechanical error. We don't know. Alfa Romeo, though, aren't probably going to be too happy because they've already had quite a difficult start to testing with all sorts of problems on each day. So not ideal.
No, lots of...
Got some questions coming in. People asking, feel free, by the way, guys, if there's certain images that you want to see, we have a partnership with XPB, so we can pop anything up on the screen for you. Game Lord said, please, can you show any images of the Aston Martin vanes and on the wheel fins? Which Luke has actually just popped in the WTF1, the race channel, if you want to pull up that image.
Will do.
Tommy, if that's cool with you. Lots of people now have seen that Frank has just appeared on stream for a second, so now the chat's going mad for Frank.
Standard.
I love it every time.
Standard stuff.
Nat this said, cute dog, Tom. It's true. It's a very cute dog.
He's literally the star, isn't he, of WTF1? No offense to everyone else. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, sorry, Matt. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not, or if you've gone, but yeah, that is amazing.
There we go. There's
someone in chat saying, imagine the WTF1 logo on the Haas. I mean, that would be something. We need a black and orange and white car back on the grid, and WTF1 should make that happen.
McLaren could have done it if they'd done it properly.
Yeah, I completely forgot they existed. Whoopsie daisy. Sorry, McLaren fans. I had a bit of a brain fart. This is what happens when you have to get up so early. I'm not a morning person.
You've still got 4 hours to go as well.
Oh, no.
Well, 4 and 3/4 hours.
4 and a bit. That's cool. I will. I'll have some lunch at lunch. Have some food at lunch, and hopefully I'll be re-energized and ready to watch some wet weather testing. Woohoo!
So the Aston is on screen, and Luke from the race has kindly highlighted those. What would you call them? Gills? Fins? What were we going with? Vanes. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much, Luke, for doing that.
Oh, here's something interessant. So, I don't know if you saw this, but a lot of people were... when McLaren shared their first onboard of the new car... It looked like there were dints in the halo. Did you see a lot of people speaking about that on Twitter?
I did see that. Yeah.
They've just uploaded a picture of Lando, and I was just putting it in just to show the McLaren, but it's so high res that it would actually just came up with that straight away, and you can actually see it. So let me show you that. And I think it is just the way that when they've like stuck the blue. There is obviously like a little bump there, but it's just the way they've obviously like stuck the blue and the stickers on there. Just it's not particularly well applied, but I think that's just a difficult place to put the stickers. But yeah, you can see a bit of a bump there, and then I think it looks worse than it is because essentially they've put some of the blue sticker livery over the top, and it kind of looks like I think a lot of people said that it looked like they'd dropped the halo and it had got a big dent in it. But I mean, that wouldn't have obviously of course happened because the halo can withstand how many double-decker buses? They I feel like that was the stat that went around that it could was it a double-decker bus or was it 9 double-decker buses or something that the halo could withstand for the strength? So yeah, dropping it on the floor is not going to do anything, but it definitely looks dinted.
It does indeed.
Here's a bit of this picture actually.
See, in that clip, or that picture with the neon orange and the blue, it looks lovely. And then you zoom out and I'm a bit like, ooh. But Yeah, that maybe it's because that looks like the golf livery in that short little snapshot. I just love the golf livery.
Yeah, they've tried to pay tribute to it, but the way the McLaren, this is quite a funny picture actually. This is, what did we call it the other day in the first stream? Tommy's funny observation.
Oh yeah, TFO.
The way that the McLaren is so bright and is reflecting in Lando's visor, it looks like he's wearing a pair of skiing goggles instead of a visor. Have a look at this. Don't know if you can see that well enough. Maybe I should zoom in even more, but
okay.
Can people see that well
also,
enough?
Also, the stream is a little bit delayed for me, so I'm going to have to wait to get my reaction.
I'll zoom in even more. But yeah, it kind of looks like Lando's got the way the car's reflecting in his...
Oh, yeah. Oh, it does. It looks like he's about to go down the alpine ski slopes.
Yeah. There we go.
He's going to do the half pipe. Manas says, WTF1, you seem like very kind people. Love you guys. Thanks for the content.
Oh,
well, thank you very much, Manas. That's very sweet of you.
Katie's horrible.
That is really not very nice, and people will believe you.
No, people don't get the sarcasm.
Don't say this.
I'm literally fluent in sarcasm. Katie is lovely, and we all do our best to be very lovely.
We're just so great, you know,
we're just
really
so
nice.
No, we're.
But yeah, we're all right, aren't we?
It got turned to wow, amazing picture.
Saying Killzone vibes. I love Lando's race helmet. AJ says. Yeah, that's fair. It's slowly becoming like quite an iconic one on the grid.
Exactly, and that's what happens. Listen up, racing drivers. That's what happens when you keep an iconic colour and you don't change it to match the car. Can you tell I don't like that?
Maybe.
I'm not a fan of drivers that when they go to a new team and say they've got a cool helmet. So say like Lando, right?
Yeah.
His is what do you call it? Fluoro yellow and blue. He didn't go, I'm a McLaren now, I have to change it to orange. No, your helmet is like, and he's made a brand out of it, even though you could argue that it is essentially Valentino Rossi's colours. But yeah, he's iconic helmets are the ones that, you know, you have a colour scheme or whatever and stick to it. And yeah, I definitely agree that Lando definitely sort of building a brand with that neon yellow. Let's have a look at what's going out on what's going on.
Alpha is back in the pit lane, and the session is going to resume at 12:22 local time, which is in about 1 minute.
Mazzapin future needs to be resolved.
Yes, I've just seen that. Very interesting comment from Gunther Steiner. Hinted that Mazzapin's future is not guaranteed. Aye. This is getting messy. You called it in the stream this morning.
Is going to be in that car in Bahrain, I'm calling it.
Oh, Schumacher and Fittipaldi lineup. That's like a proper nostalgic team lineup. Yeah. That'd be very cool. But yes, what a messy situation. Can't help but feel a little bit bad for someone like Robert Schwartzman as well, of course. Also Russian, who is one of the Haas.
Ed Bleach. Was he sarcastic about it being horrible or nice? Katie's lovely.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm so great and I'm really nice and really kind, but like, I'm not a horrible person. I promise.
It was a joke.
Yeah, thanks. please.
Just to clarify, I forget that you can't.
Callum Islet, yeah.
Why has Leclerc done so few laps?
Because we just didn't fancy it. No, I don't know. Session is running again. We have a green light, and straight away, Verstappen, Vettel, Norris, Leclerc, and Russell are all straight out on the track. So they're trying to get as much dry running as possible, because as we have said, there is going to be a wet weather test this afternoon. So during lunch break, which is in about 40 minutes, there's going to be loads of trucks sent out, and going to be making the track for wet weather running. Somebody has asked if I have a dog. I have a dog, but it's not with me at the flat. It lives with my mum. But I do have a dog called Oscar. He's very, very cute.
He is very cute.
I can't do a show and tell of my own with a dog because he's not here. But he is my wallpaper background, but I don't know if that will even pick up on the stream.
Tom, what is your favourite 16-bit F1 game?
That's a very niche question.
You can't even... It's actually quite funny because you can't even see... I thought that was in relation to the fact that I've got two old-school Formula One games. Because when I went to... Because I'm a massive nerd, of course. When I went to Tokyo, I went to... Akihabara, and they have all the game shops in there and stuff, and I bought a load of old school Japanese F1 games, and I thought you were referring to the fact that there's some like Super Monaco GP and loads of random obscure Japanese F1 games behind me, but you can't even see them, so you just mentioned it. But yeah, Mega Drive. I've got a Super Monaco GP on the Mega Drive game that I don't have a Mega Drive. I just bought it because the box was cool and everything. all the games there were so cheap that I was like, I'm gonna just buy this because it looks cool. So I've got some old games.
Old games. We still need to organise a some sort of like WTF1 Mario Kart tournament. 100%.
Yes. And if you want to get involved in that, you should join our Discord server, Team WTF1, in the comments. Let me
in the description.
I will throw it into the comment section, even though it get lost in about 3 seconds. But Team WTF1
for more content.
if you're enjoying these live chats, we do them after the race, and then we film our podcast live with you guys in the chat, and then we'll obviously upload it later. But there's also a Discord for us all on Team WTF1. So
yes, very true. Lots of people asking to see the games, but maybe if we get another red flag, not that I'm trying to jinx it, but we've finally got some on track running.
Why are you hitting Mazzapin? We're just talking about the fact that it is literally a factual thing that Mazzapin's seat is in doubt. And for people wondering why, obviously because his dad is involved with the Ural, is the obviously the CEO. It will affect him. It's not just that we're like, oh, Mazzapin's terrible, we should get rid of him because Russia. Like it is directly involving him, and I mean, Steiner himself, as we've just said, is saying that.
It's true.
Let me get those games.
Yes.
Actually, there's
also on the Race Live Hub, while you get those games as well, Ed Straw has been in a McLaren virtual session. So all the McLaren fans watching, listen up. So McLaren team principal Andreas Seidel touched upon the Russian GP situation a few minutes ago. He said, as you know, Formula One, the FIA and the teams, we all met last night, which was a productive meeting, an open discussion where we as McLaren made our position clear that from our point of view, the Russian Grand Prix is untenable under current circumstances. Please understand that I cannot disclose any more regarding those conversations, but we can expect F1 to be making a statement imminently. So we might have an idea of the future of the Russian Grand Prix within maybe the next few hours or the next few days. But yes, all the teams met up yesterday with F1, with the FIA, to talk about the future of the Russian Grand Prix. Obviously, we're meant to be racing there in September, which is still quite a little way off, but it's important, I think, anyway, my personal opinion, is that we get these things sorted and made clear as soon as possible. So,
they're already in talks about cancelling the Champions League final in Russia, and that's in.
They've moved it, haven't they? I think I got an update earlier.
Has that been confirmed now? I know they were talking about it today. I didn't know if it was official yet, but
I had a notification earlier.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, it's something that needs to be sorted out now.
It does.
Russell maybe has gone fastest. People in the chat saying. Kyle Army. Yeah, where would people like F1 to go to? I imagine this is going to look very similar to the where are you from? Because a lot of people will just... so Russell is on the C5s.
Oh, he's gone out on the C5s.
And he has done the fastest time we have seen so far, a 1:19.233. Yeah, short run on the C5
That's the
compound.
fastest time across all 3 days so far. Wonderful. So yeah, the fastest time before Russell has set that stunner of a lap was Lando Norris, who did a 1:19.568, which he did on Wednesday on the C4 tyres. So Russell has gone out there on a softer compound of tyre. And yeah, nice. Well done, Russell. He's also managed to not only set the fastest time of the day, but also managed to set the most amount of laps so far today with 61 he's currently on. Other guys on the grid, so Verstappen has managed to do 53 laps today, Vettel 42 laps, Leclerc 39 laps, Latifi only 5 laps, but Albon and Latifi have been playing switcheroo in that Williams seat. Norris has managed 45 laps this morning, Alonso 12 laps. Obviously, he had a good start, set the fastest lap of the day so far this morning, and then his car started smoking and he had to pull over. So that's why he's only done 12 laps. Guan Yu Zhou managing 39 laps, which, I'm sure the rookie will be happy with that. Gasly on 40 before he managed to buff his Alpha Tauri into the wall. We then got Albon on 21 laps. As I said, he's sharing the morning with Latifi. And then Mazzapin only managing 9 laps, but the Haas does have an oil leak problem. So that is why Nikita Mazzapin has not been back out on track. So that is that's the situation at the moment with the...
Do carry on your updates, because I am just tweeting about George Russell's new fastest lap.
No worries. Right, how many more days of testing are left? Asked Aaron Angus in the chat. So this is the final day of the Barcelona testing, or shakedown as F1 want to label it. But let's be honest, guys, we all know it's official F1 testing. It was even on the timing tower yesterday. It said F1 testing, so they've not really helped themselves there. But yes, today is the final day of the Barcelona shakedown. And then we go to Bahrain for another 3 days of testing, which is from the 10th to the 12th of March. So just a bit before we go to Bahrain for the first race of the season. And we're going to be having 3 days there. That will be, as I understand, televised. So it'll be a bit more accessible. Not sure yet if we're going to be doing these testing updates. Obviously, we've been doing them for you this week because there's literally no TV coverage. And we want to help you guys out and tell you what's going on and give you a picture. Because F1 thought, nah, we're not going to show this. So we have stepped up, and I really hope that you have enjoyed the content that we've brought you. We've really enjoyed these watch-alongs, testing updates, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and we're glad you appreciate it, because we had lots of lovely messages about it. Because, we have been streaming for a very, very long time. But we're glad you guys are enjoying it, and just love seeing all the pictures that people have sent. We've had people watching our streams in all sorts of places. I had a message of someone that is a dog groomer, and they had
a dog groomer.
and they had the dog that, and then they had our little our live stream on in the background.
That's amazing.
Which is cool. And also people from all over. So I love seeing that. Sebastian Vettel has also got himself into the 119s with a 119.905. He's on the C4 though. So we still don't have quite an indication yet of which tyre is fastest, but I wonder if the final. Well, no, we won't. I was going to say, I wonder if the final session will start to see some push laps, but we won't because the track is probably going to be soaking wet.
Lots of people asking who is running at the moment. So as of about 10 minutes ago, but we might be able to get a more recent update to that. Verstappen, Vettel, Norris, Leclerc and Russell were all straight out after the green flag or green lights were shown. That is that's the situation. People saying Russell's time was set on the C5 and not the C4, as the table says. That table that is being displayed on the graphic is being manually updated. It's not computer generated, so it might take a little bit longer than
it should have.
You might expect.
There you go, updated right
it's all
now.
Updated. Perfect timing.
But yeah, the Formula One haven't provided live timing, so the wonderful people at the race are, like I say, manually inputting that on their live text hub, so you can all keep on top of the timings. So yeah, will anyone be? Are we going to get anyone else in the last half an hour going for a C5 glory run?
We shall see. 25 minutes left of this to go. How are you feeling, Tommy? You're nearly at the end of your
my stint.
The end of your stint, yeah.
No, it's been fun. Let us know as well, because I obviously won't be there in the afternoon. But I'd love to know if you guys still want to.
No, you need to come back and do your guitar solo.
Yeah, people will.
You need to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to cry if you don't.
Let us know if you still want, if you'd still like this for the Bahrain test, because even though obviously it will be televised, we're happy to do this sort of live podcast. No, not everyone will have Sky or cable or whatever. It's might not even be being shown in your country. So if you guys want to see that and us do one of these for Bahrain as well, and of course we will, we can't show the footage as we always say, but we can give you live timing, updates, and also images again. Let us know, and also like the video. How many?
Do.
Yeah, let's get to, well, I want to see 5,000 likes. Nearly at 4,000.
5,000. Yeah, we can do that. Come on, chat. Also, lots of people saying, yes, please, to Bahrain testing, watch along.
Perfect.
Commentaries, whatever. Wow. Okay, then. I'm going to get my sleep in. Make sure.
I'm going to be just sleeping for the entire of next week in the gap.
Yes. No, that would be perfect. Yes, for Bahrain. Thank you so much. I can't believe there are still 11,000 of you watching this. This has been unbelievable numbers.
Yeah, loved it.
Thank you, guys. You've been absolutely amazing. Lots of people asking for a poll, Tommy, to be made, to say where would you like to have if Russia is cancelled, where would you like the track to be replaced with?
There are too many options, though.
There are.
I think
I can see
realistically,
everybody that's asking for that. This is people from South Africa.
Yeah, I think we've asked in the chat, but let us know where you think. A lot of people saying yes for.
Amazing.
For that. Oh my god, the likes have gone up so much. It does work when you say. It's like when I plugged Frank's Instagram account, and it does work.
Yeah. Lots of people saying, is there an afternoon session? There is an afternoon session. I'll be back and Matt will be back. I'm sure lots of you will be happy to know that. So we're going to be going through the afternoon session where during the lunch break, Pirelli are sending out big water trucks to make the track wet. So it's going to be very different running to what we've seen before, because obviously these are brand new tyres. The 18-inch tyres that Pirelli have created for these new cars. And so they want to be trialing out the wet weather tyres and seeing how they get on, the intermediates and the full wets. So that could be interesting, because it might be that we see a few little spins here and there. It could be that the wet tyres are absolutely brilliant and the cars are pretty much glued to the track. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works out. Hopefully it won't be a case of people going, oh, I don't think I'm going to go out in the wet.
There's no point.
Yeah, because don't forget, with these being brand new tyres, they're going to have no previous data on how these tyres are working. They've trialed some of the tyres previously on older cars and stuff to help Pirelli get some data in, but we haven't actually seen these new 18-inch tyres work on the new 2022 cars, so that should be good. Will it not dry out, Joseph asks. It could well do. There's a 20% chance of rain anyway this afternoon, but we have had it before. In fact, I can tell you which year it was. So Pirelli did soak the circuit at 2018's pre-season test in Barcelona before the morning session began, but because there was no constant spray of water on the track, it dried up really quickly, and teams only had about an hour of fully wet running before switching to slicks later on. Pirelli repeated the move in the afternoon, but most teams just decided to sit in their garages and wait for the track to dry out instead. So amazing little bit of nugget of
F1 teams there. Are so fun, aren't they? They just love...
Am I hinting some sarcasm there, Tom?
But at the end of the day, they're not there to make the fans happy. They're there to win. As we
oh my gosh. All right, Mr. Formula One PR man. They're there to win.
It's true, though. Like we saw the fact that the Formula One, how the Ross Brawn tried so hard to make these new cars great to race, and then the teams already apparently there's a few things on the car that the race experts... Another red flag, Guan Yu Zhou.
Another red flag for Guan Yu Zhou. Come on, babes, you've only just got back out there.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing.
2 red flags in one day, in one morning session. That's quite an achievement. But he is, to be fair, he is getting used to the car.
Yeah.
We'll allow it.
We've not done many laps at all. Yes, so it'd be interesting to see if that's another
team statement from Alpine as well.
Is this about Alonso?
Fernando Alonso, it is. After running further investigations in the garage following Fernando Alonso's on-track stoppage earlier this morning, the team can confirm the issue was a problem with the hydraulics. A minor sealing issue led to a fire at the back of the car. The team has successfully completed 266 laps during the 3 days of the Barcelona shakedown. Repairs on the car will continue, and as a result, we won't be running for the remainder of the day. We look forward to being back in action at the next test in Bahrain. Do you want me to get a tweet out for that, Tommy?
Go for it. You read my mind. I was about to ask you.
No problem.
So that's it. People that are not a fan of the BWT Alpine will be pleased to hear you will not see that car on track again. But I'm actually starting to think it looks really cool. But yeah, Alpine done for the day, done for the test.
No they won't get a chance to do the wet weather testing, which is a shame.
I'm sure they will be gutted that they will miss out when all the other teams are just sat in the pit lane, if that it does indeed happen. He's on his second. He stopped at the first sector. I'm trying to find out. Do we know what actually happened to Guan Yu Zhou? Any idea what actually happened to Zhou? Spin or failure? Let's find out. No further running for Alpine. Big yikes. Poor Fernando. Will he ever, he has to be the unluckiest driver. I guess you could argue, you have lucky moments in your career, you have unlucky moments. He's had a bit of luck when Schumi had that failure in Suzuka when they were going for a championship against each other. Got a bit of luck there, but he certainly hasn't had much luck since. That is for sure. I apologise because I was the one hyping him up and definitely jinxed him.
Yeah, this is all your fault, by the way.
So this is what, the fourth?
This will be the fifth one of today.
Fifth one of today. So we had Alonso,
Gasly,
Gasly, Joe.
Maybe it's a fourth one then.
And Joe again.
Jojo.
Who do people in the chat think is the unluckiest driver in F1? Either in history or...
George Russell was pretty unlucky before he got his points in Hungary, I have to admit. Or, mind you, some of that was self-inflicted, like crashing behind the safety car in Imola.
Yeah, 100% self-inflicted, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Well, that was heartbreaking.
Lando Norris has also just passed 50 laps today. Nice job from him.
There's a big yikes from Alpine to be completely out. But, I mean, better than... People saying Felipe Massa, I mean, yeah, you could argue that...
Yeah.
Coming that close to a title. Hulkenberg... Again, maybe he had a few self-inflicted moments as well where you thought it was his own fault that he spun out of a couple of podium positions. Someone
said Leclerc in Monaco, but I'm afraid you're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah, I do think Leclerc was unlucky last year, and people have massively underrated him based on what happened last year. I still think he is better than Sainz.
Yes, this is true.
Sainz is more consistent.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what the Race Live Hub updates are. Don't forget, guys, if you want to see what's going on, you can check out the link in the bio, but try and have it open so you have us and you have the race and you've got the perfect combination, so you can follow all of the stuff. But yeah, we're reading a lot of what is on the Race Hub as they are our sister company, so we're working in collaboration with them. They've got an amazing team on the ground and also at home that are providing wonderful updates and helping us out with graphics, and we can ask them questions and cause them to run down to different team garages and stuff like that and have a look. Somebody said Cubitzer as an unlucky driver, and I would agree with that. That was
oh yeah, I'd struggle to argue there's only one more unlucky, because for me he was championship material.
For sure. Niki Lauda as well. Yeah, another great shout. Look, Tommy, you've moved the timing screen on the stream.
Have I?
You have. It currently says Alpine statement and then session to restart. Hold on, because it's a little bit behind.
I'll be able to see it. Hang on.
Yes, the session is going to restart at 12:48 p.m. So we're going to have 12 minutes left of running before lunchtime. Woohoo!
There we go.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in.
I had to put my cursor in exactly the right place for it to work.
Cool. At the moment, it's still saying day 3 times and then half a bit of a picture.
Don't worry, we got it.
We just had a little Clubhouse promo. But yeah, it's all good. Lovely. So yes, if you are just tuning in, we're currently under red flag conditions. Guan Yu Zhou has had a second incident out on track. Although I'm not entirely sure if that was a driver issue, if it's a car issue, but the session is due to resume in just a minute's time. And Alpine have made a statement about Fernando Alonso. He had quite the morning. He first put it in the gravel, but managed to escape from that. And then he set a fastest lap, even though his DRS isn't working, because he is a legend. And then he had an issue and had to stop out on track. And yeah, Alpine have confirmed that there was a minor sealing issue, which led to a fire at the back of the car, which is why we've seen these dramatic shots of Fernando Alonso's Alpine covered in fire extinguisher and smoke. But all in all, it means that it's going to be quite a big fix and they won't be out running for the rest of the day. So 266 laps is the final amount of laps that Alpine have managed to do in this Barcelona shakedown. And as it currently stands, Fernando Alonso is sat in 7th on the timing screens. So his best time of the day will be a 1 minute 21.242, which he set on the C3 tyre. But yeah, only managing to do 12 laps this morning, which it ain't great. But at least you're not Nikita Mazzapin, who's only done 9 laps. So, it could be worse.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just putting those Fernando pictures up again for those that maybe have missed it earlier and have just joined us, see what's going on. Very dramatic photos.
They are. Huge thanks to XPB for being total legends on the by the track, taking these snaps and getting them uploaded. So yeah, great shame to see Alonso out for the rest of the day because there was some real progress being made there in that Alpine.
The home crowd would be gutted. Oh wait, they didn't.
Yeah, nobody's watching it. But yeah, hugely unlucky for Fernando Alonso, which is why we're talking about who the unluckiest driver ever in Formula One is. But the session has resumed, so we can stop our waffle and talk about actual cars on track. We've got George Russell, Sebastian Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen have all rushed out back onto the track with just over 10 minutes of the morning session to run. So I wonder if we're going to try and get any last minute attempts for the quickest lap time of the day, because as we've mentioned, Pirelli is going to dunk a whole lot of water on the track during lunch break to simulate some wet weather running. So these might be the fastest lap times we get to see of the test today.
Will we get anyone in the 1:18s?
Well, listening to the race podcast that they put out last night, Gary Anderson was saying that Charles Leclerc, who had the fastest lap time of yesterday, he set a 1:19.689 on the C3 tyre. He managed to set that time on the third lap of a 17-lap run. And so Gary Anderson was suggesting that perhaps we could get a time down to the 1 minute 17s. We'll wait and see, but
Gary
that would be
on the Ferrari hype
big
train.
Dramatic. He is. He's very much on the hype train. That'd be quite a dramatic difference in timing, because at the moment we're seeing lots of 1:19s. But yeah, perhaps somebody will put in a 1 minute 18 for the headlines.
Yeah. Do they want? Yeah, but if you hear what Lando Norris said, do you want the headlines? Because you don't want people to think. You don't want the pressure of being the team that's like, oh, is this their year? Look how great McLaren are, because he tweeted, didn't he, that he was annoyed that he went fastest.
Yeah, all the things to say. And yeah, luckily he's not fastest overall now after George Russell has set that time in the Mercedes this morning. That's now the fastest overall time we've seen at the test so far. So get ready for the Mercedes World Champions already comments. I'm flooding in. But, yeah, and lots of people pointing out, Lando Norris has now passed that half a century mark. He has done 52 laps. Other people that have gone over 50 laps today do include George Russell, Max Verstappen. Sebastian Vettel is very close. He's currently on 48, and he's gone out there to get some laps in. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that become over 50. And yeah, they're all the guys that have gone over 50 laps today.
Eric Versteeg says, are the Red Bull side pods really so much more extreme? Or does it just look like that due to the livery? And I do agree that it is very extreme, but it's definitely made more extreme by the fact that they've not painted the carbon yet. So if I find a picture, there we go, of the Red Bull, because that whole section underneath essentially is carbon fibre. Yes, there is a huge cut in under the side pod, which is like, whoa, that looks crazy. But in my opinion, as soon as they paint that in their nice navy blue, it won't look quite so extreme. Obviously, it's still a very big, a big sort of cut in. But I think it definitely, from a visual perspective, looks even more extreme just because of it. So here's one of the AlphaTauri, and you can see that they've got a similar thing going on with the side pod cut in, but because they've, painted their livery onto it, maybe doesn't look quite so like, oh my word, that looks crazy.
Yes, very much so. People suggesting there's another red flag. Give me 2 seconds, Ted. Red flag for Sebastian Vettel. I'm hearing from the ground. It seems that these drivers don't want any on-track running. So yes, there is now a red flag for Sebastian Vettel.
I think that might be it for this session then.
Yes. Oh my mamma mia. Once again, once we hear more information about that, we'll update you. We'll hopefully get an answer to you before the end of the session, which will be at about 12 o'clock in about 5-6 minutes.
Red flag Vettel, yeah.
Fifth red flag of the day.
We have well and truly jinxed things today. Our jinxing power has been rather extreme. Talking up Fernando Alonso, breaks down, talking about how there's not many red flags and how surprising it was that there weren't many red flags, and there's been 5 now.
Very much so. So yes, as Tommy says, I think that's probably going to be the last bit of running we've seen.
Dean Granger. I won't be surprised if Vettel gets 50 laps done, Katie, 2 minutes later.
I jinxed it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. God's sake, I'm so sorry, everyone. But yeah, that's very interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, the chat's now going, Katie, why did you jinx Vettel? Clearly, being on the stream with Tommy, he's passed over his jinxing powers.
Yeah.
Interestingly as well, so Nikita Mazzapin was withdrawn from the press conference that we have at lunchtime earlier today, and now Esteban Ocon has been taken out. I'm guessing because Alpine aren't going to be running anymore for the rest of the day. So that leaves just 3 drivers.
I'm assuming there aren't any. I know from your nerdy love of the rules that there are certain things where you have to go to these press conferences and stuff, but the amount of people that are just going, no thanks, we're not very good, so I want to avoid all questions. There's probably not quite so many rules in place for testing press conferences. No. I'd assume it's just very casual, and it's pretty clear that the drivers, when they do, and the teams that aren't doing well, or dramas happened or whatever, that they're just like, nope, we're just not going to go to that. Thank you very much. We'll not have any questions about it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, so thanks very much. But yeah, that's not fair, man. Oh, I can see the comments have returned from yesterday's stream. But that's cool. I don't mind. You guys can take the mickey out of my name. That's all good. Fireman Seb again. It looks like engine issues, people are saying in the chat. Once we've said...
Jason Monroe. 5 red flags and they've not even weared the track yet. Yeah.
This is very true. I think you should definitely come back this afternoon, because we are going to get some wet weather running. Easy for me to say. And yeah, see if these cars can stick to the track, if we're going to be seeing any aquaplaning. Obviously, the point of the Pirelli tyres is that doesn't happen. But it's going to be the first time that we really get a chance to see any kind of running with these 2022 cars with the new 18-inch tyres. So that should be interesting.
I'm a big fan of just like all the memes that have appeared from this stream that like only people that have been with us the whole time we get, because someone just said, any TFO? Tommy's funny observation.
Yeah, come on, Tommy. We need one funny observation before you leave the stream.
I'm not seeing too many good ones. Should I just go back to the Norris goggles if anyone missed that?
Yeah, just confirmation as well that the session is not going to resume.
Cool.
So the screen says the circuit is clear in sectors 11 and 12, which I'm guessing is maybe where Seb went off. I don't know what happened to Seb, but that's fair enough because there's literally 2 minutes left. So that would be a bit pointless sending everyone out for 2 minutes.
I think that's our cue to get some lunch and
I'm so hungry.
Be prepared for the next stream. Yeah, because you're on stream again.
I am.
I'm done.
Can't wait.
Thank you very much, everyone. That was good fun. Yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Get some lunch. I'll set up the next video. And then...
Yes. Tommy, play guitar.
I'm not,
play Wonderwall. That's amazing.
No.
Please.
I'm not playing Wonderwall.
Come back for like the last half hour of the one this afternoon.
Okay, I might do. I might treat you
and
all.
you can play some songs for us all, and we can all sit around the campfire, the virtual campfire, and sing some songs. But yeah, perfect.
Excellent.
Well, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. You guys are absolutely incredible. We love having you. Keep us company for chatting through this thing of testing, and hope you all enjoy the hour lunch break. Remember to rest, to eat, to drink. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you and your beautiful faces in an hour's time.
Actually, wait.
Oh.
Sorry, I can't.
Is that Frank?
Yeah, no, it was me making the noise. But I should probably let people see Frank before we go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And yeah, session not resumed. So we'll see you all in the afternoon. Subscribe
and
if you
Matt
haven't.
As well, back after lunch. People want to know.
Good stuff. Right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Oh, you've left it on the McDonald's meme. Lovely.
Bye.
Perfect. Bye, guys.